YouTube, but
I was curious.
yeah, mostly people just like listen to it because it's like, oh, well, I'm gonna
I'm fine being on video.
go. Right.
I'm used to it.
Yeah, no, famous.
Famous anymore.
What's the crack, all? Welcome back to the Arcane Pain. Today, we have a very special guest in with us today, a Mortal Kombat veteran. It's the man himself. It's TotalMK. What's up, man?
How's it going?
Not too bad, and you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've talked personally like this together. It's been a good number of years. Special shout out to our friend Dee Dee. We used to play Mount Your Friends with her years ago. It was great crack and stuff.
Great.
And oh, absolutely, yeah. Same as well. It's just a shame she can't really play games anymore. She's got a medical condition. I'm not going to say anything any more than that, but yeah, it's I miss playing games with her. She was great fun.
Yep.
Right. So we have TotalMK here, so we're gonna get all the background goss and stuff like that. So the one thing we want to talk about, the very first thing, we're just gonna dive straight into it now, is his new series on YouTube. Well, it's not new. He's in a second season of a series on YouTube. He's doing Outworld Tours, and if you haven't seen the first one or even the second one, what are you doing? Get your butts over to YouTube now and watch it, because it is phenomenal. For those people who love Mortal Kombat and love like detailed descriptions of various arenas and stuff like that, it is definitely one to go about it. And it's a whole story as well. It's not just him there talking about various backgrounds and stuff. There's a whole story to it and all as well. So, dude, like, honestly, I actually only watched your newest episode there this morning before we talked. And I'm loving the animation, like absolutely loving the animation. It's really cool. The scripts are great. Like, there's a lot of funny jokes in there and all as well. I think the scene previous to that, where you were in the temple, there was a random fart and all this sort of stuff. It's just various stuff like that, really. Do you know what I mean? And then, of course, after in his new season, after an episode gets aired, they do a couch talk where you and two of the other lads who were involved chat and stuff like that. So take me back all the way to the original Outworld Tours. Where did the idea come from?
Okay, the whole idea for Outworld Tours, no joke, was just that I bought a green screen, right? So I wanted to bring up my YouTube videos. I wanted to do things that other people were doing in their videos. I wanted to get better lights, and I wanted to have a green screen, because a lot of people were just doing green screen stuff, right? So I went out there and I bought these really expensive lights that I don't even use anymore. That was a fail. They were the tungsten lights. They would blow all the time. They were just a headache. Changed to LED. Perfect. This light here shining in my face, LED. LED's the best. You know, I learned that the hard way. You don't even need to spend a lot of money. You know, just do it on the cheap and get better stuff later. But anyway, I got the lights and I got the green screen. The green screen was expensive. It was like, sort of expensive, like $200. The expensive part of it, or $300, was the stand for it. It was like 200 of that, and then you had like the green screen itself, which was like $100, right? And so I got the green screen. I set it up. This was when I had my own place. I was renting a place, and I had all this space. And I set it up, and I'm like, what do I do with it? you know, and I just didn't have an idea. Like, I bought it to do something, but then I couldn't think what to do, because basically my YouTube videos I was talking about, MK1 or, Mortal Kombat 2 or 3 or doing a review. It didn't really lend much to green screen. Do you know what I mean? Like, so I just did something dumb. Like, I'll put myself in the game. That was it. And like, originally it was basically what you're seeing here. It was like a bust like this, and I just put myself talking about the Deadpool in it, as a test, and I would just do that. I would just throw everything up on YouTube. It didn't matter if I didn't think it through, if I didn't get the perfect takes, if it wasn't well lit. I just didn't seem to really. It's not that I didn't care. I just thought, oh well, I'll just throw this up. I'll do something else. I didn't think anyone would sort of like it or hate it anyway. But people really liked it. But they kept saying the same thing. Why isn't your whole body like in it? Like, why is it just you in front of it talking about the level? So then I'm like, okay, I can do that. So most tripods, a lot of people don't use this feature, but most tripods do have it. You can set the camera there and have it pointing straight. There's a little locking mechanism that turns the camera sideways.
Yeah.
So I did that and got the whole portrait mode then. So I turned my widescreen into a portrait, and then I was able to get my full body into the levels.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did that. I talked about it, and I did each level. I did all the Mortal Kombat 2 levels. And it was funny because my editor, his name's Alex, I told him what I'd been doing and that it was getting popular, and I asked if he could help me do something cool for the last episode. Do you know what I mean? Like a fight scene. Because I started to think, wouldn't it be cool, like, I'm talking about these levels, wouldn't it be cool if I could, like, fight myself or something, Something silly like that, And he was interested in it. So he was the whole reason that last episode was so great. It was so well edited, And I looked at that and I looked at my other stuff and I'm like, oh my God, my stuff is horrible compared to his level of detail, because that's what he does for a living. He's a video editor, After Effects. He does a lot of corporate stuff. He works on films in Melbourne. Do you know what I mean? And so he was cool to come on and do it. So we did that. It was a big hit. Everyone loved it. And then when we went to do season 2, we had all these ideas from the end of the first season when we added like the little ending screens. We had a bit of an idea with Quan Chi and stuff. He brought evil TMK back to life. Mm. We had those like secret end screens. I don't know if you remember. And so we had the idea of like this whole like bit of an idea for a story. And Alex is a good writer. I'm not. I am terrible at writing. I am terrible at comedy. So Alex wrote these scripts, for season 2 of Outworld Tours, and he thought we could do another season with his level of quality, in between when he was doing paid gigs, right? And so at first he did all the scripts. Then I think we recorded all the lines for the other characters first. So we had a 1-day shoot, a 1-day recording session at his house, where like the Sonya voice actors came in, the Shadow Priests, the narrator, they all came in and they all recorded their lines. And I was just there. I've got some footage of that and stuff, and I picked the ones I liked. He picked the ones he liked, the takes we liked, for the lines. Mm. And then we went off and filmed all the episodes. So my dialogue wasn't filmed in that shoot at all, because my dialogue comes from being on the green screen, right? That's the accessory dialogue that comes from the other characters that'll be added in later. And then we basically filmed an episode every weekend. One of the days, Saturday or Sunday, we did a shoot, and I took all my lights and all my green screen and everything too. The first episode was filmed at the place I was renting at. The second episode was filmed in a secret place. I can't say. The third, and then basically every other episode was filmed we had a friend who had an audio studio here called Obsessive Studios, and we filmed all the rest there, which was great. We had a space, but it's in a really noisy part of Melbourne. It's called Moonee Ponds, for anyone who knows. There's this big junction there. It's this big, hectic junction. All the roads meet in all crazy directions, and all the trams go rocketing through, dinging the bell. And we lost so many takes just to tram ding-dings, like just going through and stuff. Do you know what I mean? And it was so... Because I'm not an actor, so I can't memorize lines. I would basically I can't do it. I said to Alex, I just want to do it on the spot. I want to learn. I'll just keep repeating it until I got it on the spot, move on to the next one. Just how I am. That's my process. And then there'd be takes that I just nailed perfectly, but a tram went ding in the middle of it and just ruined it. I had to do it again. It's frustrating, And Yeah, that's where the idea came, and that's basically how we did the shoots. And then we did a poster and everything. We did the preview release and stuff, and back in 2017, and it took a long time to get done because at first, we did the scripts and we did shoots and everything, but the main time of it, and if you've watched some of those Couch World tours, even when he talks about the intro, he spent hours on that intro, man. Like, I think it's like 52 hours just to do that tunnel thing with all the lighting effects, and because he's just like that. He wants all the details to be right, and he'll spend the time and get it right. Do you know what I mean? He's very, very meticulous with details. You know what I mean? And so, that was just the opener. When he was doing the episodes, it was even worse. And then we hit things like, he then had to work on other projects and sideline mine because mine was a friend project, and that's why it took so long, which is understandable. I wasn't paying for it. I couldn't afford to pay him to do it. He was doing it as a favor. And so, he'd come back when he could and stuff. And then YouTube would change things. I literally have episodes saved on my computer where we had boxes to click the next episode or the previous episode, or and then YouTube just got rid of annotation. It's gone.
Yeah, no,
After
right.
years of like, you can click on this and this and this. It was just gone, and that means we had to go back and re-edited the end of the episodes again to have something different that would suit YouTube now. Do you know what I mean? So like, it was just little things like that and everything. So yeah, basically how it got started and how it was released.
Nice, that's cool. Yeah, no, YouTube has been changing a lot over the years. Some good, a lot bad. The annotations were a pain though, because they were handy. Like, they were saying, "Oh, click up here, click up there." Now we've got like end card streams or screens or something like that, and
that's what I've been using, the end cards.
yeah, I seen it there on your newest one there. Like, you've got cool credits and stuff that roll up and all, and your channel's smack bang in the middle and all, which is really cool.
We were trying to even just get that circle right, so the circle would be centered. You can tell it's not centered. That's the best we could get. And then I said, "That's to Alex. Let's just leave it. Who cares? It's sitting in about the right spot, but it's not perfectly centered. Like, you can't even get that right because YouTube doesn't give you the information you need to like get that in the exact right spot.
Yeah.
So it's you're at their mercy. Yeah,
it's a pain. Sure, even if it's a little bit bigger than the thing, people won't really notice. They're more or less focusing on your channel things there.
Anyway, that's what I said. They're just gonna click on it anyway. Who cares?
Yeah.
See, my OCD, like, it does bug me at times. I see it and I go, I wish it was like perfectly centered in that circle, but I'm like, it doesn't tell me like the coordinates or where it is. I can't like manually adjust the coordinates and get it right. It won't let me. It like snaps to spots when dragging it around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's,
nice. Well, you've definitely answered for my first two questions anyway. Was more or less, where did the eye come from, and then how has it evolved since then? So like you said, you have your friend Alex and all doing a lot of editing and stuff like that. So there seems to be a lot of people doing a lot of jobs, or was that just like a lot of the same names in the same roles? I kind of just seen a load of names there on the credits from the last one. So I'd say like you're pretty much the face of it all. Alex is the editor and all, and then you've the other guy who does the sound. Is it? He does the sound, is he?
yeah. So it was my idea.
Yeah.
Minutes. And I provide any sort of like feedback when it comes to Mortal Kombat. Like, for example, these guys, they don't know it like I do. So I'm like, okay, this is the bell tower. We need the bell tower music. It's got to fade in. I've got that part that fades the music in, and then you got the looping part, and then if we do the finishing music, that's got a different part of music, So not only am I in it and doing that, I'm also the guy who designs or says what audio has to be in it. Do you know what I mean? Like the blood sounds, I get them all from the games. I rip them, the blood sounds, the music. I make sure it's all accurate. Do you know what I mean? And then it's given to our audio guy, Evan, who you see on the couch.
Yeah.
And he's the one who will then mix that all into our audio track. So We'll sit there, we'll have the music, we'll have dialogue, we'll have sounds, and sometimes we make up, new sounds like the portal sound or something, and we'll sit there for like half an hour trying to get one sound right, man, like the portal sound, like, and he'll do all that. I had other friends who worked on it too, holding boom mics and stuff. And Alex has had friends of his working on it. Elaine Carter doing a lot of the voice recording. She did the original dialogue audio recordings as well, and she's helped us out on a lot of the episodes. Megan's helped us with logistics and things like that, making my hair move in the first episode. Helping out on the green screen and things like that. And then all the actors did their voices basically. So any of the actors, I only worked with them one day. That first day when we did that recording. We recorded their audio. I've never seen them again. That was it. You know what I mean? So I recorded all the audio. I took all their pictures because I thought I'll have a behind the scenes thing at some stage. And that's what I've been using in the Couch World tours. But so the actors we didn't really see, but the people we saw the most are the people who were on production on the green screen when I was filming. So yeah.
Very cool. I suppose what was I gonna say? This one is a lot more better animated and stuff like that compared to the last one. And do you have any plans for maybe more of a season, or is it depending on how well this one goes?
It's probably both. We'd like to do more, but it's honestly not doing the best at the moment. Not for the level of production that this has. Everybody loves this show. People just need to see it to appreciate it. I know that. I know people aren't going to hate it, but I just having trouble reaching people. So if we were going to do more, because of the amount of time that this does take, it'd be nice if this was somewhat successful. Even it's not going to make me $1 million, but if everyone works on it, it's going to look good for them. If something's been seen a lot of times for the work that they've done on it, even if it's not a money, So if we can get more people to see it, I'd like to do more. There's even things mentioned in this season that were going to be answered in a possible next season that you won't find the answers to in this season.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so I deliberately said, let's insert some things. I like when shows are clever like that. When they insert things early on and you don't really know about it, and then it gets answered later.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah.
So, for example, I don't know if you've played the Phoenix Wright games.
No, but I've seen you play some of them, yeah.
Yeah, in the second game, there's this one scene, this one picture of this one character doing this evil stare, like, ha, ha, ha. And you're just like, what's that about? And it's never answered until you play the third game. And then the whole thing makes sense. Do you know what I mean? It all goes back to that one picture that was in the second game. So, big fan of things like that, setting up future things.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we'll ever get to do another season, but we'll just have to wait and see.
Guys, honestly, get over there and watch it. Give this like the much love it deserves, because I want to see another season. And I'd say I like all the Mortal Kombat. I'd imagine if every Mortal Kombat vet saw this now, they'd love it. That sort of way. Honestly, I feel like
that's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing. I know everyone will like it because it's funny.
Yeah,
it's not even a serious Mortal Kombat thing. It's like a comedy in it. Like I said, that's Alex's touch. And so even if you don't know Mortal Kombat, you can find it funny.
Yeah,
it's just a matter of reaching people and getting them to watch it.
That's it, as well. I mean, I don't know if you know, there's a few MK Discord servers as well that I'm a part of that you could easily start sticking stuff in there and getting people to kind of watch from there and stuff
I'm down. Sorry, I'm down to do that, but part of me also doesn't want to be the guy that just comes in there and starts spamming. Do you know what I mean?
True. Yeah. No. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, what do you do? I'm not part of these Discords now. I just show up and go, "Hey, love your Discord. Hour two. You know what I mean? It's just like, what do you do?
Yeah. True.
I went in the
Um,
Mortal Kombat Discord the other day, and that didn't go very well.
oh, really? But you get kicked out straight away?
I,
No, we're
I
not
asked,
gonna.
I went in the I was always in the official Mortal Kombat Discord, and it was
Yeah.
when the stress test was on, and I
Hmm.
just asked politely if anyone had a spare code, and they're like, "No begging for codes." I'm like, "Who's begging?" Like, I asked the question,
Yeah, I
and
guarantee
they're
you
like,
probably loads
"You're
of people were
breaking
like
the
that.
rule," and they're like, "You're breaking the." I'm like, "What rule?" And they're like, "Rule number 5." I'm like, "What's rule number 5 say?" And they're like, "No exchanging or asking to exchange things for money." I'm like, I didn't even do that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, and then they're like, oh yeah, it wasn't even in the rules. It was in something else. It was in game announcements. That's right. Game announcements. Well, I didn't look in game announcements for the rules of the server.
I looked in the
And
rules for the rules.
secondly, this rule you're saying I broke, I didn't say this, but I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? You know,
Yeah.
and then they just ended up like muting me. Oh, they warned me. I'm like, why would you warn me over this? Like, they put
Yeah.
angry clown face on my name.
That's terrible. Like, I guarantee you there's like loads of people who probably did
The
the
official,
exact same thing.
this is the official Mortal Kombat Discord.
Yeah.
This is the. I was really pissed off with it, to be honest, because I don't really talk in there. I don't know any of these people, but like I used to be on the official Midway forums back in the day. You probably
Mm.
were too,
Mm.
and it was so good, man. There was
Yeah.
none of this shit, like none of this treating people like garbage crap. Like I couldn't believe it.
Mm.
Like I done nothing to, uh, invoke even a warning. Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean? I'm an
Yeah.
administrator. I've had forums forever. I've been on IRC. I've seen and done everything you can do. I'm an admin on Counter Strike. I know all about. I'm not saying I'm the be all end all of admins, but I know when I'm in the wrong.
Mm.
Not this time. Like I could have said, look, you can't ask for codes here. Okay, you're gonna have to find somewhere else. I would have been like, sure, no worries. But instead, they're like, no begging for codes. I'm like, yeah. I don't know. I don't know what. Do you ever go on the official Mortal Kombat Discord?
I like I don't know. I'm part of it, but I never actually really kind of looked through it or anything else. There was the time when I was doing my own animation, the Conquest adventure. I kind of stuck it in the video things a couple of times, and everyone's like,
Yeah.
wow, this is cool," and blah blah blah. But then that was really it. Then that's the only time I've ever really gone into the official
I've thought
discords.
about. I've thought about maybe putting Outworld Tour into the collective. I don't know
Hmm.
if they take videos though.
I think they do. Yeah, I think it's videos, images, cosplay,
Yeah.
anything Mortal Kombat related.
Yeah. It's something I thought about submitting in there. So I
Yeah.
have to wait and see when it comes out.
Hmm. Say why
Yep.
not? Like.
Mm.
So I was kind of so fingers crossed for another season anyway. But to give you like maybe some ideas for the next season, would you ever think about maybe doing a choose your own adventure type thing, or would that be too much?
It'd probably be too much. I
Yeah.
know what you're saying. You could film each option
Hmm.
and get people to be highly interactive with it. If I had a really interactive, if I was a really big YouTuber, right,
Hmm.
and I had that feedback, I could probably do something like that. But at the stage, I probably can't. Like if I do
Yeah.
something now, we will tell our set story. Like you said with this one, um, we've engineered this story to not impinge on Mortal Kombat 3 story. That was important to me because I
Hmm.
love Mortal Kombat 3. And um, with Alex's help, we were able to tell this like side story. This thing was happening and you didn't know. There was this guy called TMK, doing all this stuff, in the same time as Mortal Kombat 3, but you never saw it, sort of thing. Like, you know what I mean? Without affecting the MK3 story. So, if I did do another season, it'd probably be the same sort of thing, where we'd have a story that doesn't impinge on the games, depending on where we'd go with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. And another idea I was thinking was as well, just for the laugh. Like I know you've kind of done MK1 and MK2, or sorry, MK3. But if you're going to be going on any further with the other levels, imagine like having like little special guests in the background getting tortured or something, having some getting lowered into the Deadpool or something like that. Get them to
Not a
put
bad
them on
idea.
a green screen. Yeah.
It's something I've never really been good at is collabing on YouTube
Yeah.
because it's funny when my YouTube channel was really going nuts and crazy, right? Didn't know anybody, and like the thing to make you even more subscribe and watch is to collaborate with people.
Yeah.
But how do you collaborate with people if you don't know anybody?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Mm.
it's different now. There's Facebook groups and everything now, but back like in 2010, it wasn't much of that stuff.
No.
And it's been weird for me because I found out like only in the last few years too. Some of this stuff. They made me a partner on YouTube pretty quickly in I think 2007 or 8, probably 7, right? And to me, I didn't think it was a big deal. I just thought everyone was getting that. And I only found out in the last few years that was a really big deal. Because if you were a gamer, they weren't partnering gamers.
Mm.
They just weren't. You had to be like really watched to get it. And I have screenshots of my channel getting all these awards constantly for being the most watched. And because I was the only guy talking about Mortal Kombat on YouTube. So anyone who had an interest in Mortal Kombat was finding my videos and watching them, and yeah, so I had this partnership, but it didn't do anything. It didn't make me money because in Australia they just didn't pay you anything, and like the ads didn't do anything. Like I honestly don't know how to explain it. Like for a year, I'd get nothing. You know what I mean? And I was getting so many views. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Thousands. Like if I put up a video about this can of Pepsi, it would get 5,000 views. But the ads were so bad for people in Australia. The revenue was so tiny that I wasn't getting anything out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was only after a few years that like the ads got better and I started to get a bit of money from it. But like originally when I was getting all those views, I was getting like nothing from it.
Mm.
And I think it was just because I was in Australia. I'm not sure about this because people in America seem to be making a lot of money back then from their ad revenue, but it just wasn't doing anything for me being in Australia.
Ah, that sucks.
Just one of those things,
Yeah, absolutely.
You find out all this stuff later too. You find it out later on. You don't know what's going on because I'm in my own world of YouTube. I'm not talking to any other YouTubers. I'm just flicking on the camera and talking about Mortal Kombat, and then like not knowing. I wasn't the sort of person to look up things or find out what's going on. I was enjoying the ride. I'm like, oh wow, this video got all these views. That's cool. Oh wow, I did this. I'll go to E3. Oh wow, interviewed Ed Boon. That got heaps of views, and I was just doing all these things. It was just fantastic,
Yeah.
But I wasn't paying attention to all this logistics behind the scenes, like why I wasn't just doing this or that doing that, or why I should have been collaborating with people, But oh well, live and learn.
Yeah, it's a different ball game now compared to what it was 10 years ago. Like, I mean, the people who are like, making these Mortal Kombat videos now, like Uncaged Games or Bruce Poet and all, they're all like over the top reactions and stuff like that when they see the trailer and stuff. And your one was just like, oh yeah, that's cool, because that's what it was back then. It was like, we're excited for it, but we're not gonna go, yeah, like really go nuts for it and stuff. And I was like, oh, that's awesome, I can't wait. Do you know what I mean?
The sad part too is that I know that stuff works, and that's why they do it. That over the top reaction, the stupid face to do in the thumbnail. You know what I mean? All that crap works and gets you more views. I just hate doing it. I'm so stubborn. Like, it just feels phony that like you have to suck people into clicking on the video by doing a stupid face. Do you know what I mean? They don't click on it because they're interested in the video. They click on it because they see you doing a dumb face, and that's why they click on it. And that sort of puts me off. I want people to click on my videos because they're interested in Mortal Kombat, not
Yeah.
because I'm doing a stupid face. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? So I don't want to do it, but it's the only way to get views as well.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you do that dumb face, you get all the views. As soon as you're over the top, welcome back to my video. Yeah, because I watch them too. You know, I watch all that stuff. You know, and I'm just like, I can't do it. I'm
Yeah.
like 46, and I'm just like, oh man, like I just can't. You know, like I just,
Putting on a
but
weird
yeah, you're right.
face and
I would just,
Sonya's butt or something like that.
yeah, I always tried to be humble and just, you know, excited in my own way without, you know, super high energy
Yeah.
and that, you know.
No, yeah, like you had the more realistic reactions. Like that's the same me as well at the time. When you're sitting there watching a trailer, yeah, you're excited and people can kind of see like the way your face is lighting up and stuff like that. But you're not gonna be jumping around the room, throwing your chair around and stuff like that as well. Like I mean, it's just like it's no need for it. But like apparently, as you said, these days it just works and it's I don't know. It's like whatever works for you. But like it's not really. Like a lot of these people as well, when they go over the nuts and they throw their chair and all, they end up breaking something. It's like it's your own fault. Like,
There was, you know, when I really started to notice it when I started playing Pokemon Go because it's you know, a lot of kids play it, but it's funny because I know more adults than play Pokemon Go than kids
yeah,
because it's a very casual, very social game, and it's not a game that the kids today play. They play Fortnite and all this other. They don't play that stuff. Do you know what I mean? They don't
yeah,
care about phone games. But when it was new, there was a guy I used to watch called Ali A who'd talk about Pokemon. Every video was like that super high energy, like that, you know, and all the thumbnails, the saturation control you in Photoshop, all the way to the end, super bright green and bright blue and like super bright colors, you know, and he just clickbait the hell out of every video. He'd put things in the thumbnail that weren't in the game, you know, and he just constantly say like there's a you know was before there was a 7k egg, he'd say oh, it's a new 15k egg or something, you know, and he'd put it in the thumbnail, you know, and people would click it because they'd think it was a new thing in the game, and then in the last 1 minute of the video he'd be like, I hope they put a 15k egg in the game, so he'd justify that clickbait.
yeah,
And I just like, I can't watch this guy anymore. I just can't. And before I watched him, there was another channel I watched called Trainer Tips. And he was like me now. Very just not high energy. He just knew his stuff about Pokemon. He just talk about it. Do you know what I mean? He didn't do that high energy clickbait stuff. I mean, I occasionally see him do a slight clickbait, but not like an extreme clickbait. And now, at first, I'm like, this guy is just boring. I'm having trouble watching him. And then I realized he's me. You know?
yeah.
And I watch him all the time now. He's my go-to Pokemon channel now because he doesn't do all that high energy nonsense clickbait. He's just about the facts. You know, he just does good videos and informative videos. So.
Yeah, I mean, like that's a lot. That's what that's what we want. You know what I mean? Like as you said, we'll watch that over the hype energy because it's funny and stuff like that. But when it comes to actually wanting to know about the game and all, we'll watch the people who know their stuff. Like, you know what I mean? So, what can you do? But anyway, speaking of games and stuff, Mortal Kombat 1, or sorry, Mortal 1 Kombat, should I say? What's your impressions of it? I saw you react to the trailer and stuff like that, and you seemed very hyped. You were reacting with MK Dan.
Yeah, that's right. I've known Dan for a while. Talked to him a lot on Skype, and when we went to Chicago, we did that whole Chicago tour. I went around with Dan and Tabmock and like Alan and Fred and a few of the other guys. All the Mortal Kombat fans that were in Chicago for Combat Con. You know what I mean? Jasper. What am I forgetting? I'm forgetting people. Sorry if I forgot everybody, but we went around and did that tour. So I've known those guys for a while now. And MK Dan, I consider MK Dan and Tabmock 99, they're really old school like me. to me, they're the 3 biggest fans in the world for Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's not that I have anything against anybody else. I just know, especially Tabmock. I've known Tabmock for so long. I've got things from Tabmock's brother that I bought on Mortal Kombat. Like, I just happened to look at it and noticed it had the same name, and I asked him, and he's like, "Oh yeah, my brother sent that to you." And this is before I knew him. You know, he's just really, really old school with Mortal Kombat. He loves it. He's 100% genuine about Mortal Kombat. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when I talk about MK, I'm genuine. Everything I say, even if I hate something, it's because I believe in being genuine. Same with Dan. He's from Luxembourg, so bit of a different country. Might not be as known because he's like in, you know, that part of the world. But he's done some fantastic interviews with Ed Boon and stuff. He's met him a whole bunch of times. Do you know what I mean? He's a huge fan. So, yeah, that was lost where I was going with this, but basically they're the 3 biggest guys. And that's right, because I had Dan on the stream, for MK1. He asked to be on, and I said, yeah, man, sure, like, you know, because we were both curious about it. And I should say, I did some streams for MK11. There were a lot of things I didn't like in Mortal Kombat 11. I say that now, actually. It's funny timing because I just got a Mortal Kombat 11 promo copy delivered today to my house that I got really cheap on eBay. You know, so I feel like a hypocrite. But look, I still collect a little bit. I don't have much room anymore, so I sort of stopped collecting big things. So I have
when
to
he
be
started.
You know, yeah, I know. I've got cupboards full of stuff, and it's just like, you know, I've got no room anymore for anything else. I do get those pop vinyls that you've got, though. At first, I wasn't going to buy them, and then I bought them all. I've got them all now. Yeah, so the thing with Mortal Kombat 11 that I didn't like, the biggest thing for me was the Sindel retcon of her story.
Yeah.
Like, for me, that's like the worst thing that's ever happened in Mortal Kombat history. Do you know what I mean? Like, I really am that annoyed about it. Like, yeah, and I'm sure, like, if some of the MK team members were watching this, they'd probably be laughing, going, that's a stupid thing to be upset about or something. But for me, it wasn't. They literally changed the character for no reason. You know what I mean? They didn't even wait till the next game. Like, her story was already established in the previous game, and then in this game, it just changes for no reason. Do you know what I mean? And that I really hated that. And some other things that I was really nitpicky with. I mean, there was a few things in 11 I didn't like. I didn't like a lot of the skins for the characters. I thought that they were going too politically correct with some of the female skins and covering them up too much with like metal and I don't know. It's a joke. What do I say? You've probably seen me say it. I would say space robots to describe some of the female characters, and because like Jackie had all this armor and Cassie had all this armor. I don't even know they were military, right? But I feel like we were losing a bit of that identity with Mortal Kombat with some of the cool like ideas and skins and that. And another thing that really bugged me about 11 was that title screen. I did a whole stream once. I don't know if you saw it about how the title screen bugged me for MK11. I didn't know what it was, and I asked the people who were in that stream, "What is it?" Like, do you remember what the title screen for Mortal Kombat 11 is? It's like all those dark like crystals or something. It looks like meteors or something. I'm like, what does this have to do with MK11?
It's actually the background of our podcast right now.
Oh, really?
I just have it on because of the cool smoke effect and stuff like that, and that's kind of a noticeable thing right now. However, though, I think I know where you're going with this. The new one looks phenomenal.
That's exactly where I'm going.
Yeah.
That was a big thing for me. I just sat there one day, and it's such a silly thing to be upset about, a title screen. But like, I sat there going, how did we end up here? Like, Mortal Kombat has some really iconic title screens. Do you know what I mean? Some of the old games, some of the new games, you know, all fantastic. And I don't know where that one came from. I don't know what the idea behind it was. What was it referencing? A lot of people say it's Chronicus Keep, But when you fight Chronica in Chronica's Keep, it looks totally different. It's got all those
Yeah.
machine gears in the back. See, that's cool. I like that. But that's not the background.
Yeah.
Like, it's something else. And yeah, that's exactly where I'm going with this, is that when they announced this game, you know, I honestly think that maybe even the MK team saw that and saw me talking about how dark it was. Now,
That's going to be coming into your bathroom.
Huh?
That's going to be coming into your bathroom.
Doing a podcast.
Oh.
Yeah, please. Sorry. Sorry.
yeah, just how dark it was. It was such a dark background. And then this got announced, and it was the polar opposite. It's like daytime out there, and blue skies, and seagulls and birds flying around, and lush green forests. And they really went for like a really dazzling presentation of the game, and not just the title screen, because the title screen looks amazing, by the way, perfect. Got all those trees, those autumn trees dropping the leaves, and you got that beautiful dragon statues in dead center, and then you look at these levels; they are so detailed, amazingly detailed. Even the Johnny Cage mansion, the ones we haven't seen yet, like the Outworld, the fireworks, the living forest. They just all look like they paid so much attention to the backgrounds. And I always have been big into that. The fighting game will always be the fighting game. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the background for me really sells it. It doesn't matter what game I play, even if I play Street Fighter, which isn't very often. But even if I play Street Fighter or some other fighting game, I feel like the backgrounds really are important. Do you know what I mean? And that's why Mortal Kombat 2 was such a great game for me, because it had backgrounds unlike any other game, because it was a made-up world. So if you played Street Fighter, you fight in Japan, you fight Ryu, you fight on like a rooftop or something, right? You go to like is it the Ukraine or Russia? You fight Zangief, and you got that sort of Russian background with all the Russian dudes, and you fight Guile at sort of on an American air base. They're all great, but they're all like, I don't want to say they're real, but like they're realistic in terms. Yeah, where when you had the Mortal Kombat backgrounds, Mortal Kombat 2 especially, mate, Deadpool. You'd never seen anything like the Deadpool. You'd never seen anything like the Combat Tomb or the Living Forest, the Screaming Forest, which is based on, some really cool movies like Evil Dead and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The Portal, the Pit, it visually was amazing. And when MK11 came along and I felt like it's losing that visual identity, for me, that was like, they made me sad. You know what I mean? I'm like, how did we get to a place where we can't even have a good title screen? Well, I don't think it was a good title screen. Do you know what I mean? And now MK1 has fixed all that. We got great skins. Like, the skins are awesome on the female and male characters. They're so detailed, man. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they've dropped all that armor and metal. Like, they're just cool. They're just fantastic designs. We got a cool title screen. We got cool backgrounds. So I'm looking forward to playing this one. I think it's going to be really good. I'm not the biggest fan of like the cameo system and stuff. I'm not the best at these new games, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I'll still always play the story and play through them and see what they're like. So.
Yeah, like I'm in the same boat. Like, I'm excited for the story. I think the backgrounds look amazing, the character skins look amazing, and all. Cameos it's an interesting and odd premise, because I know we had them in the last couple of games, but they were more just like, because it made a little bit more sense, because during the story in MK11, when you had, like, let's say, what was it? It was Raiden there, and Fujin was with him during the story cutscene, and then when we went into the fight, you could bring Fujin in to assist and stuff like that. So in that sense, it kind of made sense.
Yep, that's exactly how I think of it. Exactly, it's like an assist thing. So, like, I remember one of the first games I saw that in was X-Men versus Street Fighter.
Right.
If you ever watch a demo on that, the character comes in and does the assist attack. I think I was I don't know the characters. Sorry, I don't know all of them, but one of the characters would scream "Birdie," and she'd come in and go "Yes, boss," and like shoot like a gun or something, and then sort of piss off again.
Yeah.
You know, it reminds me of that. You're calling in a character to do a move like Kano's cannonball or knife throw or Sonya's leg grab or whatever, and you can tie that into your combo system. You know.
Mm. Yeah, I was right. Like a few of the combos look really good, like the way they kind of went about with the cameo and stuff like that. So I don't know, remains to be seen. But there's a few other things that I'm a bit worried about as well. The announcer doesn't sound like happy at all. Sounds very depressed in a way. It doesn't really sound like our normal Shao Kahn voice, or even Chronica was a little bit better. This one just sounds real, you know.
It's that downplaying it. They're going for the serious tone, downplaying that aggression a bit, and going for a more serious thing. I know what you're saying, because like the old games were like finisher, you know, they were very aggressive, you know, and I'm a big fan of them, you know, and I feel like it started with MKX, where it would be like finish him, and you got that weird finish him logo that came up where the eye was it the eye extended down?
Yeah, I think it was the eye. Yeah.
I'm like, it used to just come up and like flash, like, you know, like you know, used to flash red, yellow, just to, you know, be really impactful. And yeah, I guess that they love changing things up, and that's what it all comes back to. But yeah, I know what you mean. It's like sort of like finish him. You know, now,
his
right?
voice isn't even deep, really. His voice isn't even deep. That's the thing. Just like a normal guy going, finish him. That's it. Like, you know, really.
Finish him. You know.
But
yeah, I know what you mean. I wish sometimes we get that aggressive announcer back.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, who knows? Hopefully we can change the voices like we did in 11. Maybe they might give you that option again.
That'd be nice. I'm all for customization, but MK11 went too far.
Yeah.
With the skins.
Yeah.
Going back to the skins. It wasn't just the female skins that upset me. I hated the fact that you could be pink Sub-Zero or blue Scorpion. Like that goes against the laws of the character. Yeah. Like for me, it does anyway. I'm like, no, Scorpion is not ever blue. He will never wear blue. Never. He wears yellow.
Yeah.
To mock Sub-Zero and call him a coward because yellow is a cowardly color. That's why he literally is copying him. That's not his outfit. That's his story. He is copying Sub-Zero's outfit, changing the color to yellow, imitating him, but with yellow color to call him a coward. So if he then wears blue, that it just ruins the whole story. That's like, what's the point? Do you know what I mean? Like how is it that I'm a fan and understand this?
Maybe he's infiltrating the Lin Kuei.
They'll be like, yeah, we'll just let people do whatever they want. Like, I'm like, no, don't.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because when you do that, you're always going to get that person that goes, I think Chrome should be in the game, but they should be made of glass. Because, you know, people just will come up with these weird ideas, and I'm not saying they're all bad, but sometimes they just don't fit, I think. You know, there needs to be some sort of boundaries on certain things, you know, and I unfortunately, I think that was bad on 11, that the skin system. But, you know, like I said, that's gone now. We've got these great skins now. I don't know about these stories about Scorpion being Sub-Zero's brother and stuff.
That was the next thing I wanted to point on. Like, I mean, it just seems so weird. Like, Scorpion and Sub-Zero, they're brothers, but they're kids of the Grand Master, and Smoke's their adoptive brother, and Rain is apparently a mage now, and you're like, what?
It's full on, isn't it?
Yeah.
So there's a guy I've done videos with. His name's he used to call himself Bald at Games. I think he's called his videos Fate now.
Infinite Retro?
Yeah, Retro, yeah. He gets pretty into it with Mortal Kombat. He's like me, because we're Aussies, we're not afraid to speak our mind sort of thing. But one thing he did bring up, and he's kind of right, is that he keeps saying Ed Boon said it's not a sequel. It's a new game, right? But Liu Kang remembers everything from the previous game.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, is it a sequel? You know,
Mm.
I get it. Only one character knows everything that happened from 11. There is a
Yeah.
link. There's a link from 11 to this game, but it's only Liu Kang that knows. Everyone else does not know what's going on. So they probably should have called the game, and he even said it, Mortal Kombat: A New Era. They even call it that in the bios and the stories, and I honestly think they should have probably gone with that, and probably should have said it is a sequel. But a lot of the characters will have reset stories, you know?
Mm.
And I think that's why they want to say it's not a sequel, because they want to reset all these stories. Do you know what I mean? And it's, I don't know, like, I will say this. For years, I hated Liu Kang. Liu Kang wins every game. He wins Mortal Kombat 1, he wins 2, he wins 3, he wins 4. He's the champion all the time because he's the greatest character. I'm like, I really did not like Liu Kang. Do you know what I mean? And everyone seemed to like him because he, you know, he flies across the screen and does all the cool moves, you know. But I never really liked Liu Kang. It used to really shit me that everyone would pick him and just constantly do fly kicks and try and beat me. You know, that's one thing. But as soon as they killed him in Deadly Alliance, they made the character cool to me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Excuse me. They gave him some story. He's dead now. What do we do now? We've lost our champion. And then in Deception, the best thing ever, comes back as a zombie. I think that was the greatest thing. Even though zombies are overdone and everything, back then it sort of wasn't. It was the coolest thing that they did with Liu Kang for me was Deception. When we got to Deception, that was amazing. You had original Liu Kang, where his body and spirit are together. That was an unlockable only. It wasn't in the story. In the story, you had zombie Liu Kang and his spirit that had been separated.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was perfect, you know? And now, you know, they did some great things with Liu Kang. He became a god now and everything. Now he's reset time. But it's very strange. They're mixing up all stories. I don't know why they're doing it, to be honest. I don't know if I hate it.
Yeah, it's like I think they just want to. They're trying to test out things, but like it's weird. They already did that with Sindel, and it went down here so much. And
that's what scares me.
Yeah, and I feel like as well, I kind of keep questioning it. If this is Liu Kang's new era, like what the hell is Shang Tsung doing here? And why is there even mention of Outworld and Shao Kahn and all this other stuff as well? Do you know what I mean? It's like, where is this coming into it? Is it like he can reset time, but he doesn't have any impact on who's in the world and all? And I know there was a poll. Someone put it up on Twitter saying, "Are you going to be pissed if it's not Hanzo Hasashi as Scorpion?" And I'm like. Well, yes and no. Like, I mean, if I found out that Hanzo had a peaceful life with his kid and wife, and like he's gone to he's gone to rest now and all that sort of stuff, fine, that's grand. But it's the whole story of like if they're both Sub-Zero and Scorpion are both in the Lin Kuei, does the Lin Kuei teach fire magic now? And that's how this guy has Scorpion's powers and all this sort of stuff, or is it that Sub-Zero? Is it Kuai Liang who ended up dying because of what Bihan did? Because I know in one of the intros, it's like, what have you done? It's like, you did all this sort of stuff. And I was like, yeah, because I want to do this, that, and the other, and all this sort of stuff. So a lot of people died. It's like, well, what can you do? You know? So it's just...
a really good thing. It's a really good point you bring up. Because Scorpion's Hellfire is literally called Hellfire because he's a Hell Spectre.
Yeah.
He comes back from the Netherrealm, and that's where he gets his power from. So where does he get his power from now?
Yeah,
because he had that move. They even said it. We gave him back his Hellfire move from Deadly Alliance.
Yeah.
Where's he get it from?
Yeah.
Are they just going to change it and say, I learned it at the Lin Kuei? The Lin Kuei teach ice moves.
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose they do teach smoke and stuff, I guess. They do teach other things, I guess.
Well, it's mainly they teach to being an assassin, a stealthy assassin. Smoke's powers, didn't they come from him getting burnt alive when he was a kid?
Don't remember, because like in the old games, they didn't really give him story.
Yeah, true.
So I don't remember all of the new games. That's where they started adding all the stories in, right? Like Deception.
Yeah, I think it was MK9 where that was Smoke's ending. It was like the whole thing of him remembering that he'd been burnt alive as a kid, and he came back as this vengeful Smoke demon called an Inra, and apparently he was able to get a hold of it and stuff like that. And now he's smoking, and it was that type of weird thing.
Okay. You know, I've never even beat the game MK9 with all the characters. I used to do that. I've done it Deception. I've done it with that. No, not Armageddon, because I had those insert endings. I did it basically up to Deception. I've beaten the game with every character. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then MK9 came around. I just didn't get to it, all the characters and stuff. But so some of the details I'm a bit foggy on, or haven't read or seen them. But yeah, no, that makes sense. You know, for that. But it's an interesting point, right? Like changing the characters. I mean, it's dicey. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like the veterans might be like, "Oh, why?" But then the new people will be like, "Oh, this is awesome." It's like, you don't know the characters like we do. So they all came into it in MK9, like, do you know what I mean?
That's what I feel like it is. I feel like sometimes I feel like as an old Mortal Kombat fan, I feel like I'm one of the oldest. I don't know if that's true or not, but I feel like as one of the original fans who was there from the start, I feel like they just changed the game so much that they want to just forget the old games and like have new games that have a new fighting system, and you got to do all this frame data bullshit, you know, and like you got to press like 1,000 buttons to do things, and I'm just like, I have so much trouble playing these new games. I have so much trouble. I don't know what the fuck's going on half the time. There's things coming in and like that. I can't get up off the ground. Someone's just hovering over me. I'm like, what do I do? You know, the best example I can tell you is Derek Kurtzik came to Australia,
Right.
and I fought him at the PAX, right? And at the start, I got a few combos in. It was great. And he was Poison Ivy. This was an Injustice, so not really a Mortal Kombat game. I was playing Sub-Zero. He then did this poison plant, the little plant that you do in the game as Poison Ivy. This plant appears and it just starts spitting at you. Right? I didn't know what the fuck to do. I'm like, well, it'll go away, right? I thought it would spit at me 3 times, like in the old games, and then it goes away, right? It just stayed there and just kept going, psst, psst, psst. And I'm like, what the fuck do I do? How do I get rid of the stupid plant? I didn't know what to do. As you know, I could just stand there and block it, but then he's just laying into me doing chip damage, right? And if you go back and watch that video, I even tried it. I'm like, I know, I'll do my super move. That will get rid of it. It's the strongest move in the game for your character. There's no way in hell that plant will still be there if I do the super move. So I do the super move, right? And you can hear the commentators even say it. And people who know the game and talk about the game all the time, oh, he's trying to cancel it with the super. Even they thought it was going to cancel the stupid plant. And it didn't. And it just kept spitting at me. I'm like, what the fuck happened? This isn't a proper fighting scenario. Like, why is this thing just staying here, spitting at me non-stop? Like, what the fuck? Maybe there was like a really basic way out of it, but I didn't know about it. You know what I mean? I feel like some of these new games have this weird stuff in it. I'm like, why is it doing that? Like, shouldn't it just, like I said, go 3 times and then disappear? Or 5 times or whatever, do you know what I mean? Shouldn't it just...
Yeah, it's an unfair advantage.
Yeah, MK4, maximum damage. You get someone in the corner, you lay into them, maximum damage. You separate, you reset. I love that.
Yeah.
Great, gives you a chance. But in this game, you can just smother someone. There's no maximum damage anymore. They just lay into you, do combos. And that's it, you can't do shit.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. I feel left behind by the new games a bit in some aspects.
No, I agree, because I remember, I just for the laugh, I entered into an Injustice 2 tournament when they were doing the tournaments and all on PlayStation and all. I said, I'll give it a go, like, why not? And I was like, this is great, I can't wait. My very first match, your man plays as Deathstroke, is it?
Yep.
And stays on the opposite side of the screen shooting me. And he just keeps shooting me and keeps shooting me. Yeah. And I'm like,
I remember that.
pretty sure in the rules have said no, like no, what was it zoning? No zoning.
Cheats. It's called. That's what it's called in arcade days.
Yeah,
You repeat a move, but I
yeah,
think it's called zoning now. You
yeah.
know.
So like I messaged him. I said, dude, you're not allowed to zone. You can't. So he won that fight obviously, but I had emailed into the organizers. And I was like, yeah, so this guy zoned. Like, here's the video footage. He was like, what do you do? And he goes, oh well, he beat you. He beat you. And I'm like, and I was like, it's part of your rules, no zoning. Oh well, and that's all I got from that. I was like, well, not doing any more tournaments with you, so.
Yeah, that sucks, man. Like, it's something I said too when I was playing the stress test for MK1. Every single person I played did was they were waiting for me to jump at them to try and do a combo. They're just waiting there.
Mm.
And like, I'm like, what do? I don't want to go near him. I know he's waiting to do something to me. So if I don't move, they just stood there and did nothing. It was a boring game.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'm like, well, I can throw a freeze at them, but it doesn't do anything. It doesn't chip them down or, or they just jump over it or something. And they just wait for you to jump in and then just boom, 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 combo,
Yeah.
I feel like it changed and someone in my chat was saying it, but it's all about zoning. I'm like, but it never used to be like that.
Mm.
Got to go up to people and uppercut them or punch them, like, or sweep them or do a roundhouse. Now it's like you can't get near anybody.
And you get the odd people saying, oh, just get good. It's like, no, it's not like that. It's like we're used to the old days of fighting where you had a proper fight. None of this wait for the opponent to actually move and then go in for them, like,
That's the problem. The game's changed, I think, about 3 times. I can think of the most drastic. You got the arcade days.
Mm.
Then you got the 2D, the 3D era, like the PS2, Xbox, your Deadly Alliance, Deception, right? I really like that system.
Yeah.
But then when MK9 came along and X and 11, that's when they really saw an opportunity to overhaul the whole Mortal Kombat fighting system and have, because those old ones were never accepted in tournaments. They were seen as janky and shit, I guess. I don't know. I don't really look at it that way. They wanted something competitive that can be like the Street Fighters and the Tekkens. And the problem for me is, the reason I liked Mortal Kombat is because it wasn't like Street Fighter or Tekken. I liked the system they had. I thought it was good. And I got some great games out of it. And you can watch like me and Retro play MK2 on my channel. And you can really see that we're both real old school and some really close games. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, now it's just like every other game. Because that's like, when I used to play those old Mortal Kombat games, whenever you used to play Street Fighter, it was like playing MK1.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? It was the same thing. They wait for you to jump in, then they do these combos. Ryu does the dragon uppercut, then does like a Hadouken, and then does the Hurricane Kick. And it seemed like, especially in Tekken, I got a big problem with Tekken. People really love Tekken, and I used to call it the 2-button game because you're just pushing 2 buttons to do moves. And there were some moves in the game. There was one in Tekken 3 with Paul Phoenix, and I used to laugh because my cousin's name's Paul, so he'd pick Paul. And he's like, I don't know what I'm doing. And I remember we were up the Gold Coast a few years ago, and he was just playing for fun. He doesn't care about fighting games, right? And my friend there, who's Tekken expert, he picked this Paul character, and he started mashing buttons, and he did this move. I think it's down, back, and 2 of the buttons. And he charges this punch, and then just goes bang, and hits them. And it basically takes their whole energy bar except for 1 hit.
Yeah.
Like putting them in danger. I'm like, what is the point of that even being in the game? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
One punch to win the fight. Do you know what I mean? But then people always defend it and go, oh yeah, but it's only if it hits you. I'm like, why is it in the game? I'm like, if honestly, if we got one character that's super strong, another character that's super strong, you think he's going to 1-punch him into almost kill him? Like maybe if he was fighting an old lady, and he punched an old lady. Do you know what I mean? Like it just seems silly. And there was another character called Eddie in Tekken, and this is the best example. Eddie Gordo. Best example: mash the buttons against an expert, and they have no hope. Guy
X and
starts
circle.
doing all this break dancing, kicks, and flips and
Yeah.
shit. And I watched my Tekken expert friend get owned by a noob because he was just pushing random buttons.
Yeah.
You know, because there's no way you could anticipate what it was going to do. And I'm like, that's a trash game.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it was the same for me years ago. I brought along a friend of mine to a tournament that we had in the local GameStop of one of the Tekken games, and like I was fucking owning with who was I was martial law at the time. Like,
Yep.
I thought it was great. I loved it. And then at the very last fight, I was against some other guy. He was Steve, the
Yep.
like boxer lad. And
Yep.
I said, okay, I've been using martial law. Let me go with a different character. I can't remember who I picked anyway. I think I picked King because I love King as well. And I was going to do the whole, the combos he's got and stuff like that, the resting combos and all. All your man did was mash like square and triangle, which was all Steve could do. Because if you press X and circle, he'd be dodging because he's a boxer. Like, do you know what I mean? So all
Yep.
he did was match square and triangle, and your man was going off with these real fast combos. I was like, what the hell's going on here? Like, and then I got my ass kicked, and my friend actually ended up winning, which is grand. I got second place, or no, I got third place, but it was still weird though. Like, I was just like, you can just mash these combos, like, and it's just that's it. Like, it's 2 buttons, as you said.
It really is, because I worked at an arcade, and we had Tekken 3, and I would play it sometimes for free. And we had a little move thing on there, and I'd always pick Anna Williams. That was my character. I'm like, because she was in the cool Chinese dress. I'm like, it's kind of hot, I just use her, you know what I mean?
Nice.
And then it was like, oh, how do I do a moves? Oh, you got to push 2 buttons together. Oh, you got to push 2 buttons. And then I realized every character, you just push 2 buttons. And I'm just like, it's a weird game. I don't know, I found it weird. But people seem to love it.
Yeah, I think I remember watching an interview. I think the only premise I think that power move is in it, I think, is just to give the other person a chance if they're low on health to get them down to the same sort of thing. But like, if you got hit with it though from the other person, you're done. Like, do you know what I mean? You're gone.
That's what I do. I just start the game and do that. I think
Yeah.
Anna has it like a slap. She slaps them.
Yeah.
Paul Phoenix does that one punch, and I just do the power move, and like, if you land it, you basically won the match.
Yeah, and you can do it any time. I think Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat have it down where you fill up your bar, or if you get low on health, you can do a super move to get out a good bit of the thing gone. But in Tekken, I think you can do it at any stage, really.
Exactly. And something that bugs me, sometimes little things bug me too, like in MK1, that bar has 3 sections, right? But it doesn't even mark what they are.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We all know what they are, right?
Yeah.
Because but in MK9, they had little icons.
They did.
That's was it X-ray? That's enhanced. That's a breaker. That's enhanced. Whatever the 3 were. They had a little icon. I get streamlining things and everything, but like, I'm like, come on, like, you should put that information there. Why is that not there? Like, if you're a new player, it's just 3 bars with no information on it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It doesn't tell you a thing.
Yeah, because
But
the first bar was enhanced. The second bar you had for a combo breaker. The third one, I actually can't even remember what the third one was. Maybe the third one was the super move, was it? It was the X-ray, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. X-ray and MK9, and then MKX, it was, what was it?
I think it was the same thing as well. It was only 11 that when you got to low health, you could do your X, or you could do your super X-ray move. Yeah. No, Crushing Blow was just in a random combo at some stage. If you did something like twice or 3 times.
I know they changed it somewhere. Forget what they named them. Yeah. Like in MK9 it was X-ray, and MKX it was X-ray, but it was like, I don't know, it was quicker or something. I don't know. I've forgotten the differences now, man.
I think the third one was X-ray. I think it was 11 where they changed it around.
Was it 11 they changed it? Okay.
It was 11, yeah.
MK9. Okay, alright, that makes sense. Yeah, so I don't know. I just see those things and I'm just like, sometimes I'm just like, why do you do that? You could easily have a lightning bolt there, or an EX, or some sort of mark.
Yeah.
So if you know what it is. I know what you're saying, like, once you've played the game once, well, then you know what it is. I still think it looks bare without that information there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You look at, like, other games, they don't really do that. Like, I think it's kind of weird. And I think Injustice did it the best. They had a little... Injustice 1 or 2 had a little lightning bolt, and they had little icons on the bar, so you knew what they were, you know? I don't know, I just get obsessed, annoyed, not really upset, when things like that are missing. I feels kind of silly, you know?
No, I get you. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all about like visualization, as you say. Like the background and all makes a lot of the fighting games and stuff like that. But even little bits like that as well, you'd be handy to have in the game as well.
Yeah, nice little GUI. I think a nice GUI is really important. And this goes back even to Mortal Kombat 1. You had the 2 energy bars, green energy, they go red when they deplete, you know. You got the clock in the middle. You got the little Mortal Kombat Dragon tokens when you win a round or whatever. You know, all that stuff is cool and like has a look and a style to it. You know what I mean? And I don't know, as it gets more and more downplayed, I feel it feels a bit more lacking. I guess you could say. One thing that bugs me is the select screen music isn't cool anymore.
I haven't even heard the music yet.
It's really low key. It's really, really, really soft ambient. For the last, I would say since X11 and this one has a really soft. There is a music there, but it's a really soft, unintrusive sort of background element. So the characters can talk, you know.
Yeah.
Or something. And I just feel like you lose something with that. The Mortal Kombat select screen music was so iconic, and you probably saw it. I did a YouTube video with all the different select screen musics at some stage, up to 9. Do you know what I mean? Because they were so great and so iconic. It's funny that, because then X came out, and that was the next game that I hadn't put in the video. I did it when 9 was out. And that's when they stopped doing it.
Yeah. No, because like 9's was like a real heavy sort of music thing, and then MKX was like something like that. I was like, what is this?
Yeah, it was really soft and, like I said, unintrusive. And 11 the same thing, and this one's the same. And I really wish they'd stop doing that. You know, I want cool music.
Yeah, exactly. You know? The more music, the better.
I want a banger, you know, when I'm picking my characters. Yeah.
Speaking of lacking as well, though, I know Ed said it as well. They've gotten rid of the crypt altogether. They've said, and apparently they've a new system now how to unlock stuff. Now, fingers crossed, it's like a conquest mode, like Armageddon was and Deception was, to be able to unlock shifts and stuff and like that. But hopefully, it's not just something like, oh, I'm gonna go over to this picture, press X to buy it, and that's it. Like, do you know what I mean?
I think they definitely had their time with the crypt. So, Deadly Alliance and Deception had the same basic crypt where you go over to the coffin, you spend 100 coins, it shows you a behind the scenes photo or unlocks a character or whatever, right? And that was awesome. It was great. I loved it. It was fantastic. But by the time we got to Armageddon, we're still doing that. It's just in a mausoleum where the coffins are in the walls, sort of thing. You know, same thing though. We're unlocking content. We've pretty much gone as far as we can go with this. MK9 did a fantastic job, though, of reinventing it by making it super visual. So you had, like, the guys that got ripped apart, or you had that thing in the tree that, like, the sap would come down, and they had all these really cool ideas. I loved it. It was fantastic, man. One of the best crypts ever. And that's how you unlocked everything in MK9, which had a great system. And then when we got to X, we started getting a crypt that became a bit interactive, which was smart. Do you know what I mean? Where you have to find items to get to new parts of the crypt. And then basically the 11 crypt, we've gone basically full now. It's basically conquest mode. You're running around inside to unlock things and find things. Do you know what I mean? It basically was conquest mode. So the next thing they've got, I don't know what it is, but I don't know if it's going to be drastically different because everything else so far has been, right? Like, the art style's drastically different. The characters are drastically different. They changed. Do you know what I mean? But then again, you've got like some of the characters who look so old school, like the cameos, like Kano and that. They look like exactly like the MK1 looks and stuff. You know, so what have they got for us? You know, like hopefully it's something good. But I think it's okay to mix it up now because that crypt system's been done so much, unlocking the coffins and that. And I honestly think the best was MK9. Out of all of them, as much as I loved running around in the last few, it was great. Really did like the MK9 one.
Yeah,
fantastic.
And the jump scare out of nowhere.
Yeah, the guy that comes out, roar! And then they did the spider and the X, wasn't it?
Spider and the wolf.
Yeah.
Yeah, the spiders. If you were
So many
inside the spider cave.
Saw so many people that hated that spider thing. All the people who hate spiders.
Yeah.
They really had a problem with that.
They should have given a arachnophobia mode where the spiders were just like, I don't know, reptiles or something. Who knows?
A big snake pops out in the corner of the screen.
Yeah. Oh God. But oh yeah, well we've another MK reveal in 3 days. Apparently they're saying on the 21st of July. There's the next one. Is that Comic-Con or is that I think that's Comic-Con, is it?
Comic-Con, yeah. So Ed Boon, I guess he's gone on a press tour for this game because first he came here to Australia to do stuff with the movie, and he's already left here, and I assume he's on his way to Comic-Con in San Diego now, which is, like you said, in 3 days. And then they got the Gamescom in Cologne. Not sure when that is. So they got those big.
I think it's August. No, I think it's like towards the end of August.
Yeah. So there'll be stuff unveiled at that, and don't we get the beta in August for the game too? The beta was announced.
Oh yeah, it was, isn't it? Yeah. Was it August? I think so. Yeah, actually it was.
Yeah, the game's out. Remember, the game's out September 19.
Yeah.
So like, you know.
I'd say the beta will probably happen just after Clone, because I know they're gonna have a floor demo there for people.
Yeah.
There's a friend of mine. A friend of mine's taunting me right now because he says he's going over and he's gonna play it and all. And I was like, I'd go with him, but like I've already used up my holidays from work, so I can't really take anything more off.
Tell me about it. That's the worst thing about that, isn't it? When you can't get extra time off. You know, but I've never gone to Cologne. I wish I kind of had, but I mean, I did 3 E3s, and E3 might be dead now.
Yeah, it's all about Jeff Keighley's stuff with the Summer Games Festival and the Game Awards.
I honestly think it's just these companies going, we save so much money doing that and not E3.
Oh, that's it. As soon as they saw how much money they saved.
It's just that because, like, you go to E3, they have these big booths and they have everything. They give away merch and everything, and it's really cool, you know. And then you got Jeff Keighley's thing. They just come out and talk about, this is our game, and then it comes up on the screen, and then they have, like, some little back area set up where, press or special people get to play it, and that's it. And that costs them, like, a fraction of the cost, right?
Yeah.
But I really think it's sad because these big publishers, it doesn't matter for them. They're gonna, it's gonna work either way for them, right? But I feel like E3, and I said everyone has a big booth in that. Like I said, I've done 3 E3s. I saw a lot of the smaller publisher booths, really tiny booths. They just set up, just showing their product off. They might give away a few T-shirts or something. They're nowhere near as big as like the big guys, and I feel like they needed to be there to show their stuff. Do you know what I mean? And without E3 now, they don't get invited to the Game Awards. It's all the big people. It's all Warner Brothers and Microsoft and Nintendo and Sony. You don't hear about the indie guys as much. Do you know what I mean?
No.
And I feel like that's sad, because E3 had an environment for everyone where everyone got to see everything and got hands on, and so.
Yeah. Like you'd only really be invited along to Jeff Keighley's thing now if your game is making the rounds, like the Among Us people. When Among Us was big because of COVID and stuff like that, they got invited and they were there and stuff like that, and they were blown away being there and stuff. But yeah, like I know they during the Summer Games Festival, I know they have a day of the devs thing, which is like all
Yeah.
the new stuff and all. But that's all
Yeah,
they
yeah.
get really.
You know, it's funny because the very first Game Awards that he did, I got invited to that to cover it.
Right.
I've got that email somewhere. I'm like, I can't afford it. You know, I wanted to go,
Yeah.
but it wasn't E3. It was like the Game
Yeah.
Award. A part of me really wanted to go. I'm like, oh, this could be really cool, you know. And I didn't go. I think it was the one that Angry Joe went to and had trouble with the interview at. I don't know if you remember that.
Oh, I think I do. Is he not allowed back anymore?
He got invited to the Game Awards and he was trying to interview Jeff, and Jeff Keighley was distracted and stuff, and he was really pissed. He put a video up about it, and I said I then did a video about it saying he was right to be annoyed. It wasn't fair that he was acting that way and stuff. And anyway, they've resolved their stuff now and they work together all the time now. Do you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I remember that was a big thing.
No flights and accommodations included with your one, no?
Nah. I've never been invited to anything from Australia. It's always been like, oh, we can't pay the accommodation from Australia.
I live here. Oh, you mean like in
we can't pay the flights. Sorry, I should say. We can pay the accommodation. Yeah, like I remember I was invited with Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe. They invited me to Vegas, and they said, "Look, you're invited, and we'll put you up in the hotel." It was the Red Rock Casino in Las Vegas. We'll pay for all that, but we can't pay for your flight because you're in Australia. It's just too much. And I went, oh, okay. And I was considering getting a flight to Hawaii and seeing if they connect me, because that's technically the United States, and then connect me the rest of the way.
Hmm.
Then I'm just like, I thought about it. I'm like, I'm going for an announcement. Like, it's going to be great fun and all, but it's just an announcement.
Yeah, it's not even yeah.
They're not going to get to play it. They're just going to say, this is the game. This is what it's going to be doing. They're going to show a logo or something, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like, if I wait a few months for E3, you know, I'll probably get to play the game, you know, and I only have to go to LA. And that's what I did, you know? That was a good move, you know?
I got invited to the MK11 one in London when that was the thing, because I think Dan went to that one. Or Dan, I think Dan went to that, and a few others. Uncaged and all was at that. Like I was invited, but why did I not go again? I can't remember. I think it was like a week before. Like it was only told me like literally the week before, saying, "Oh, you're invited to this, that, and the other, and all that sort of stuff." And I had like no money, so yeah, again, I couldn't. I was like, damn, because yeah, it was like a last minute type thing, and I was like, you had to maybe give me a bit of notice. I might have been able to save up something, but I think I had only just bought something. I can't remember what it was, but yeah.
You could have. Oh man, I would have borrowed money for that.
I know.
No, I know it's hard. I've been in the same things, man. I've been in the same situations where I've just got no money. You know, like, to do things, and it's hard. You know, it's really hard. I've spent so much money going to overseas to do events when I've got the money, and then I come back, I literally just broke myself, and then come back with nothing. Do you know what I mean? But that's how much I care about the game, you know? In fact, no joke, no lie. My 2010 trip, I put a lot of that on my credit card that I had because I was working. And this is a bit my fault. Not the best with paying back credit card bills. But I was paying it back slowly. But I lost my job, right? In 2012. And that screwed me. I was forever fighting a crazy interest rate to pay back this credit card. And it just got out of control, and I had these other two credit cards, you know, that weren't as low, and they got high, and no joke, I just, probably about a month ago, paid everything off.
Wow.
You know? Now, that was from 2010. I don't regret it, because I had a really good time. It's fine. Yeah. But, you know, I was forever struggling with that, you know, that bank was really terrible too. Like, because I actually they said to me, you can take out insurance if you lose your job and you'll be protected. And then that's exactly what happened. And then they didn't want to protect me at all. They didn't want to make good on their promise or their word, you know. And I took them to like the ombudsman in Australia, and they had to pay a lot of it, and then they would just harass me constantly all the time. You know what I mean? Because they didn't like that I took them to the ombudsman.
Yeah.
And then so I just threatened them one day. I said, I'll just declare bankruptcy if you want. That's the whole thing, you know. And then they can't do anything, you know. And then they left me alone. They left me alone after that. They realised. They probably looking me up. What's this guy got? Oh, he's got nothing. You know.
Don't show them all your collectibles and stuff.
Well, who says that they're mine?
Yeah, very true. Yeah.
My dad bought those.
Hmm.
There's nothing on paper that says they're mine or anything, so you know.
Fair.
I don't think they can even take your TV or anything. They're not allowed to. There's certain laws with what they can and can't take, even if they were to come here and say, we're going to take the stuff. I'm like, it's not my stuff.
Not my stuff, I swear.
Anyway, there. But yeah, no, just I know what you're saying. When it's hard with money, sometimes it's really hard, you know. And you know, I did what I needed to do though. I went to E3 3 times. You know, the first time I was lucky, I was working a job that was mostly covered by that place at the time. In 2008, I got lucky because my dad had all these frequent flyer miles that were going to expire that he'd built up. Do you know what I mean? So I got the flights for free. I just had to pay the rest. So it didn't cost me much. But 2010 was heavy. I had to pay everything. And because I travel alone, you pay all the accommodation and the travel insurance and the flight. You pay everything. You know what I mean?
No, but like, yeah, I guarantee you though, if Ed Boon had gone to the London one, I would have snuck onto a plane. Like, honestly, because
he's a cool dude.
Yeah, I still want to meet him. Like, you know, I haven't. It's like one of my top 5 people I want to meet in this world. Because I think
it's really hard to meet him these days.
Yeah,
I feel like they lock him behind. He's become a bit of a superstar on Twitter and troll and everything, you know, and
still doing his thing
in a fun way, not in a giving him crap way. You know, he's a friendly troll, I guess you could say. But like, I feel like they really do lock him up for the corporate people now and stuff like that. And they sort of did do that in the past with Mortal Kombat, like E3 and stuff. But like, I still remember walking into the Midway booth, and he's just standing there in front of the Armageddons. Do you know what I mean? That was my first image of meeting Ed Boon. I'm like, he's just standing there. I idolize this person, obviously, because I love MK. Do you know what I mean? I just blew me away. I'm like, I thought he'd be being mobbed. And I remember that was in 2006. I thought it was going to be like that, you know? And everyone's talking to him and being friendly. But I feel like that wouldn't happen today. That it would be how I was thinking of it. And people would be mobbing. And like, you know, you sign this and all the usual crap. And, you know, why didn't you put Scorpion in MK3? You know, but I feel like it would be like that for him today, you know, and they're really protective of him now. I feel like Warner Brothers, you know.
Bit of a talk now. I've had this conversation with a friend of mine, Croaky, as well. Do you feel Ed is just really the face of Mortal Kombat now? He's not really hands-on involved that much anymore.
I feel like he is the guiding ship. He is the guiding person who guides the game how it should be, right? So I wouldn't say he's just a face and he doesn't like do anything or anything. Like, I feel like he's very hands-on. He knows everything that's going on. Do you know what I mean? Very smart man. He loves this crosswords and, you know, codes and things like that. He's a programmer, you know, so he's got a very good head, you know, and I feel like he's very organized with that sort of stuff, with the production of the game. So obviously he couldn't make the game himself today. You got these teams that are so big. You've got motion capture people and graphics people and artwork people and audio people, and then you've got these places overseas that do like fill-in work. I don't know if you've ever looked at the credits, because I always do. I look at everything when I play a Mortal Kombat game. You'll see that they have a studio overseas doing stuff. You know, they might be doing, I don't know, just they might be making tree pictures or something in the background, something that's not like, you know, has to be approved by Mortal Kombat team sort of thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They might be just doing fill-in elements to speed up the production, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like he is very hands-on with all of that. And I feel like he does guide it to keep it, you know, how it should be as a Mortal Kombat game. I do. But I feel like if he wasn't there, who do you put in that spot now? This man's been there from the start. Do you know what I mean? He's been there from the whole time with Mortal Kombat. And sorry to interrupt. I thought I turned my damn phone off, but it just dinged.
You're good.
I did turn it off. I don't know why it dinged. Oh, that's right. Phones have 10 volumes these days. I forgot. Yeah. Yeah. So I feel like if we did lose Ed on the team, they could put someone else there, but they're not going to have the experience. They haven't lived through all of those games, Mortal Kombat, the arcades, the PS2 era. You know, they know things. They have an experience with the franchise. You know, and we don't have John Tobias anymore, which sucks. So
yeah,
I really
thought there was a rumor that John was coming back, or was that just a
there
rumor?
were rumors. There were rumors for sure. You know, I feel like that's one thing that makes Mortal Kombat so great is that there's still so many original team members working on the game, like John Vogel's still there. You know, Dan Forden's still there. Ed Boon's still there. You know, Brian Lieberon, you know, Paulo Garcia. These guys got their jobs at Midway. I think if I'm telling the story right, they were players at the arcades in Chicago. They were playing Mortal Kombat 2. Steve Baran as well. You know, and they got picked up and asked if they want to do QA for the game, I think, you know, at the studio. And now that's what they do for a living, you know? You know, so I think it's cool we have those old schoolers there. If it was just in someone else's hands, it could be bad. You know, so I don't think he's just the face. I think he's a good guiding light for the Mortal Kombat games. While we do get these new and crazy ideas, he's still steering the ship a certain way.
Yeah, I still got like Scorpion and Sub-Zero and all. You didn't have.
You'll never get a game without those two.
I know, right?
And they made that mistake. I'll never forgive them for it. And that's the joke I made before. They didn't put Scorpion in MK3.
Yeah.
How do I
struggle? That's why they had to remake it in Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 and include him.
That's right.
Now to kind of go on to some of maybe a little bit of the story questions, really.
Sure.
Who do you think is going to be the big bad in this? Because if you remember, in the very first trailer, when Scorpion and Sub-Zero look over to the sun, it's all red and stuff. And in one of the endings, I can't remember which ending it was, that same sort of thing around the sun is there when they say Onaga comes into the picture. And I'm thinking as well, like, it could be, now that this whole story things have changed and all, did Shao Kahn not overthrow Onaga? Is he still maybe the general? And Onaga is still like the emperor, and he's coming into the whole scene now and stuff like that. And Shang Tsung's just a side pawn. It's just it's weird. You know what I mean?
If you think back to the very first trailer, that when they showed the looming threat, whatever it is, they showed it in Earthrealm and they showed it in Outworld. So wherever that looming threat is coming from, it doesn't just threaten Earth or Outworld; it threatens both. So I don't think it's the Dragon King. And we saw Shang Tsung coming out of that portal, which was that red glow, right? So that's Shang Tsung's portal. But I don't know where he's coming from or why. And I do believe that the Dragon King will have some sort of part.
Yeah.
I feel like Shang Tsung's going to corrupt the worlds that look so beautiful, and I feel like that's why they've done it like that. That they've made everything nice so they can ruin it, sort of thing. And we get the Mortal Kombat we know. I don't know. Maybe that's just what I want. I want to see it go bad. I want to see the Living Forest turn into the Living Forest I know. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like, you know, they always talk about how Shang Tsung is the one who, to quote the 95 movie, who engineered Outworld's destruction. You know? She says it was beautiful once before Shang Tsung engineered its destruction. That's the line. You know? I feel like he's the sort of guy who will bring in all the evil and ruin everything. And do you know what I mean? So if that's what they're going for, that's great.
I thought they had us. Oh yeah, go on.
Sorry, I was just going to say one thing that does always bug me is that Liu Kang has all this dragon stuff, and someone mentioned it. They said his fatality is really evil. How it rips the guy apart. It's not like something that like a good guy does. And I said, what? I said it the other day on Twitter. I said, someone said, name something in Mortal Kombat 1 that no one said or something. And I said, Liu Kang's the Dragon King.
Yeah, I've seen that actually.
Because if you think about it, everything's dragons. Like, everything he does is dragons, dragon statues, collectible, the dragon fatality, he does the dragon thing in Mortal Kombat 2. This guy is dragons, right? What if he was the Dragon King? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't know.
definitely.
It's silly, but I don't know. It's just an idea.
Yeah, like, I mean, a lot of people are thinking now that he's kind of having the same corruption that Raiden had because he's all godlike now. The way he's like, you know, if you threaten peace, you've threatened war with a god, like, and then he does his whole fatality thing.
War with a god. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
you
so
know,
a lot of people think it's like him going evil, like, you know what I mean? It's going into his whole.
There's an evil tint in him, right?
Yeah.
If you cross him, this evil, like, that's not Liu Kang.
That's why.
So, like,
that's why I always thought one of his dragons is blue and the other's red. It's red, right? Yeah, it's red, orange, whatever.
Red
I
and
think
blue.
I think that's more or less why it's like that, because he's got his good side, but then he's also got his evil
bad
side.
Yeah. Right, exactly. Yeah. So that could be something that changes or something. I don't know, but like, if you think about it, literally the term "the Dragon King," who would be your first pick? Who would be the king of dragons in Mortal Kombat other than Naga?
Liu Kang, yeah, because he's got all the dragons.
You got basically the red dragon, you got the black dragon, you got, you know, a whole bunch of other people, but I wouldn't say that they're like kings. They seem more like lackeys and like little annoyances that run around with the other characters. But like Liu Kang, he's top. He's a god now. You know, he's got god power. You know, he's the only one who could be on the level of a Naga.
Yeah, very true. And his animality.
Just something interesting that crossed my mind the other day. You know, I don't know if it'll go anywhere, if I'm right or wrong, but.
Well, I also had a thought. I had a thought as well. Like, what if they're going into the whole multiverse theory thing here? Because you know the way in Shang Tsung's ending in MK11, he was on the throne, like he was Titan now, sending Raiden and Fujin to go conquer worlds and stuff like that. And then in the proper ending that we saw, Liu Kang trains the Great Kung Lao and stuff like that. So what if this is Shang Tsung as a Titan coming into Liu Kang's new era and trying to bring in other Titans and stuff like that to completely screw up the world or something like that?
It could be something like that, because you know when we had the grain of sand explode and we all didn't know what it was, like we were all theorizing. Someone said multiverses. I saw that a lot, you know, and then I heard Edwin say it later down the track in an interview. He said it was literally the Big Bang of starting a new world. I'm like, okay, so it's not a multiverse. It was literally the whole Big Bang theory. You get an explosion, you know. So that's what they went with. But it could be what you're saying could be right, because he could be coming in from another world and influencing this world he's created. Outside influence, you know.
Yeah, I'm excited to see where it goes, but hopefully everything kind of gets explained and makes sense and all. Like this whole new Melina's things, Tarkatan disease and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And everyone's like, "What the hell?" It's like, really? And then, but apparently, like Melina's heir to the throne in this one, and Katana's just Katana's like the servant, like, and I'm like, and I really, and I'm like, and where's Jade? Like, Jade's probably not even around. Like Jay's probably just some person over. They probably doesn't even know Melina or Katana. Like, do you know what I mean? And then is Sindel? I don't even know if Sindel's in this, or is like Melina actually queen right now? Or
I don't. Someone leaked that they reckon they saw Sindel in the background of a stage, and that was taken down. That it had like a throne in the background, and it had like King Jared and Sindel possibly sitting on the throne.
Right.
And this video clip was removed by Warner.
Yeah.
So that could be a thing that showing it. Seems like they're going real grassroots with the stories.
Yeah.
In all the worlds, in the Earthrealm world, in the Outworld world. I don't know if they'll have Netherrealm or anywhere else in it, or if they'll just focus on those two things.
Yeah,
Maybe they'll have
actually,
it.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. You know, because Katana's story has always been that Adenia was overthrown, merged with Outworld, and that's where she lives now, right? But it looks like she's just living in Outworld now.
Yeah, true.
And
I mean, it's a beautiful looking Outworld, but it's still Outworld, I suppose.
So, I don't know. All I know is I just hope it's good, man.
Yeah, especially like as
Especially
well.
Like you said, it makes me worried that they changed that stuff with Sindel in the last game.
Yeah.
You know, and they're making these drastic changes in this new game. I hope they're just not messing with the characters, you know, for the long run, you know.
Yeah. Like, is Rain even still a son of Argus, or is he just a mage now? Is he playing D&D?
That's right.
Mortal Kombat D&D now, are we?
Yeah, is there a Dahlia and Argus or not? You know, it's like, who knows? Is there a Taven and Dagon?
Taven and Dagon, yeah, I was about to say, yeah.
Caro and Ori, what was it? Oreo?
Oron and Caro, isn't it?
Oron and Caro, yeah. Yeah, like, who knows? Yeah, Edmund said some stuff like about cameos too, like there'll be cameos of characters that you've never been able to play as.
Yeah, and there's not that many like places to fill, because a lot of them are like cameos that are already in the game. Like, isn't there, like, Kung Lao has one, and he's in the game, and like apparently Johnny Cage is going to be part of this was leaked in the first DLC. Apparently he's going to be a cameo fighter. I was like, but he's already in the game. I was like, why not like have, like, a lot of people I see are putting in actual animations of like Shao Kahn being a cameo, or Motaro being a cameo, or even they're saying, oh, bring back, like, let's say fucking like, I don't know, Astra, Moloch, Draman as cameos. Like, those people that because I originally thought the cameo system was going to be Mortal Kombat characters that we know are in the world but we never really see, like King Gorbak or that type of thing. You know what I mean? Like Goro's father and stuff like that.
Because they showed Kung Lao, MK2 Kung Lao being a cameo.
Yeah.
But you play as Kung Lao.
Yeah.
You know, and when Edburn said that, like, you can be characters you haven't. I'm like, who does he mean? Does he mean like the joke I'm doing in Outworld Tours, the Shadow Priests, or is it like the Mask Guards? Even though you could technically be them in Shaolin Monks, I guess. Yeah, I think you could be them. Could you be the Mask Guard?
With a cheat you can, yeah.
There was a render. I never played the Versus one, so I don't know if it was a Versus character or not. But yeah, like, is it like that where you can be these characters which is background things? Like, what's he mean by someone you've never been able to play as? Or does he mean it's going to be like Superman or something? You know what I mean? Because like they love their, you know, so it's like.
No, exactly. But that's what I originally thought the cameo system was going to be, and then it's all weird stuff and all. I suppose we'll have to wait and see. Like, we get our next little look at it now in 3 days' time. So hopefully, like, something else gets revealed and stuff, and maybe he goes a little bit more in depth with some of the because he did tweet a lot about deception over the last while, saying, "Oh man, I can't believe we had chess combat, puzzle combat, conquest mode, and stuff all in the one game and stuff like that." And then he talked about another 2 things of deception, but he kept referencing the modes. And it's getting everyone like, oh, is he talking about a conquest perhaps in number 1 or something like that, you know?
Tweeted about it today. Deception again. Yeah, he said the TSA guy at the airport said, "I always thought Deception had the best story mode."
Oh, okay. Yeah,
What's the story?
seriously.
Of Deception? The Dragon King.
Mm,
That's the main story in Deception.
yeah. So it's yeah, it's a little pokes a hole and stuff like that. So I don't
Must
know.
be fun to be here to tease everybody, eh? Jeez.
And it's so funny
You know,
how like serious a lot of the time people take him.
it's funny because the first time I met him, he looked like pretty serious dude. But I think when you get to know him, you know, he gets to know you. You know, it's all good.
His poor family, trolling them all the time.
But
No,
yeah, I got some great interviews with him. I got to meet him. It's cool.
stop rubbing it in.
Sorry. I just I know it feels like I might be doing that, but for me, it was such a nostalgic time.
Oh no, I was only kidding, but yeah, no, definitely.
You know, I feel like it's come and gone now. I feel like I'm saying he's this like superstar now, and he's this corporate dude now. You know what I mean? You can't meet him anymore or say hello anymore. He's, you see him on the podcast.
Yeah, behind all sorts of like security and stuff like that. You didn't try and talk to him. Get
Yeah,
away.
I mean,
Like,
some people did get to play with him at the reveal event, the Summer Game Fest thing, but you have to be these big YouTubers now, and you have to be all these people. Ed Boon surrounded himself with a lot of these corporate people now. Do you know what I mean?
mm,
That they're either doing voiceover or they're doing conventions or announcing things. So then when there's an event, they get invited and they're the ones that do the interview. Do you know what I mean? There's no like random people anymore like me.
there's no fans
Ran-
anymore being able to do it. Like,
yeah, I feel like fans are done, and you got to be this huge influencer now to even have a chance,
yeah, it's like
which is sad.
back in the day, like the fan sites were a massive thing surrounding the game. Like, you know what I mean? You had one. There was the Combat Pavilion. There was Mortal Kombat Online. There was loads of them, and like I know a few of them are.
Informer, MK,
Mm.
TRMK, Scorpion's Realm of Mortal Kombat. Yeah, all sorts, man.
And I have to say, like, thank God for Mortal Kombat Warehouse and Mordon, because he's still going at it. I know, and like like the sprites and stuff he's able to get and all, like, it's helped me out a lot in the past for like some animations and stuff. I think he's helped a lot of people out and all. Do you know what I mean?
I've done some extraction myself, and I used to know Murdoink really well because I used to always be hanging out in the IRC chat and being a bit of a clown, and I think one thing I used to like torturing with him, I used to like calling him Murdy, and he really hated that. He goes, "Don't ever call me that," and I just kept doing it. Because he probably doesn't understand that in Australia we like to relentlessly tease people. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Like it's part of our culture of like
Mm.
being a friend. Like you tease the hell out of your friends. You know what I mean? So I'd call him Murdy all the time. I still do it sometimes.
Of course, I seen it on the video there the other day. Over in Australia, if you call someone a cunt, you're basically it's like you saying that to your friends. Like, it's like it's a good thing over there. Like,
I can say that word to my friend as much as I want, and I can call him even worse than that. You know what I mean? We'll always have a laugh about it. Because words are words to us. Sticks and stones. What happened to the saying sticks and stones? You know what I
yeah,
mean?
exactly. Like over here in Ireland, they're kind of the same, but like I think they put that cunt word into a really bad position a lot of the time. Do you know what I mean? You say that to someone over here, they'll be like, "What you call me?"
Some people really hate it. I know in Australia, it's usually older women that don't like it because in their day, no one said that word. You know what I mean? And it seemed as derogatory, but the meaning of the words changed. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not derogatory towards women. It's just a word. You're calling someone that word because it's the worst thing, sort of thing. You're that. you know. Whereas I feel like people say even worse stuff these days, which I do think's over the line. I do think some things go a bit too far. Do you know what I mean? But most of the time, most things are fine. You know, but you know, it's how we are in Australia. We take the piss, as they say. It's out of each other. Yeah, I always call Murdoch Murdy. He hates it. He never replies. But we really appreciate what he's done because we credit him in all the Outworld tours in the credits because we use a lot of the sprites from the site. We've used some other sites too, and there's been sometimes when sprites have been missing and then I have to rip it or something, you know.
Yeah. Thank God for Photoshop.
Oh, Alex made this one. You'll see it coming up in 2 episodes, I think. 2 episodes time.
Ooh, exclusive.
Yeah, exclusive. You know the pit, the Lost Portal. I go to the Lost Portal
Yes.
in M3, the blue portal.
Yeah.
You know, you got the bridge and then you got the one in the background. He does like a zoom from the foreground one to the background one.
Oh, nice.
And he had to manually create that bridge.
Yeah.
It didn't exist. It wasn't on. I don't think it was on MK Warehouse. He had to create it for that one 5-second shot. You know what I mean? But it looks fantastic.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, that's just the sort of level that he'll go to really sell something that he's working on.
Yeah, because I actually I was hoping he could probably if you get me in touch with him, can you get me in touch with him? Because I just wanted to pick his brain about the the way he was able to get Quan Chi to look like he's talking with the black box in the.
He
one
told
of the
me
episodes.
that is a black square.
Yeah.
Where the mouth is, and it's tied to the waveform. So as the waveform goes up, the square gets blacker. It looks like his mouth is open wider. So
I must learn how to do that because in my
I don't
upcoming
know how he's
narrations.
I can ask him and see if I can connect you guys.
If
But
you
he's
could.
very busy. He's very busy.
If he's busy, that's for 100%. That's fine.
But yeah, I can ask him for you. You know,
Yeah.
he knows you. He knows you.
Yeah.
I mentioned that we were hooking up a podcast.
Oh, all right, cool.
Yeah, I see him commenting on the videos.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, because
Yeah, and he knows you did the animations as well. He's seen them.
Oh no, what's he thinks? Do you like them?
Yeah, because he
sweet.
loves animation. You know, so he likes that stuff. You know.
Yeah.
He likes the interaction.
Hopefully now the new one will be a series based, and if it goes out well anyway. I give you the premise of that today.
Sorry?
Did I give you the idea of the new one?
Did you give me the idea for
my new animation that I'm working on?
Did you tell me? Sorry, I'm confused.
Oh, did I ever mention it? That's what I mean. I can't remember if I ever mentioned it or not.
That you're doing a new one.
Or what it's about, what it's gonna be about,
I don't remember.
You might like it.
Sorry.
It's basically no, you're fine. It's basically 3 video game characters will be around a campfire, and they're gonna be swapping ghost stories. And one of the 3 will think the ghost story is bullshit, stupid, and then that ghost story will happen to that person.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So in the very first one, I think we've got I've got Ghostface. So we're gonna do it's basically Samus Aran is gonna be attacked by Ghostface, but she's gotta be on the phone to him first, and they're gonna have that little fun what's your favorite alien movie and all that sort of stuff because it's Samus, you know. And then in one of them I have one of the ghosts from Pac-Man, and I was like, oh, what do the ghosts hate? Ghostbusters. So we're gonna have one of the Ghostbusters come in and take care of him and stuff like that. It's funny, it's gonna be very quick, less than 10-minute animation. It's gonna be an opening of the 3 characters scattered around the fire, few jokes, ghost stories get told, and then it goes into each of the ghost stories, and then things happen. When I say ghost stories, yeah, it's like horror stories, what you tell around the campfire, you know.
I'll tell you something. Here's an exclusive for you. Before there was Outworld Tour Season 2, I strongly thought about doing a Slender Man show instead.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
Nice.
We had
What?
a full concept meeting. I said what I wanted to do. I wanted to film. There's so many woods around here that you film in night. You go out there, you light it great at night time. You put the light through the trees. It looks scary as fuck, man. Do you know what I mean? I said we'll get some dry ice and we'll make it fucked, And I knew Alex could make it cool. You know what I mean? In the editing room, you know what I mean? And we strongly thought about doing a Slenderman thing. And I said, if we do it though, we gotta, go all the way. We're gonna have like build a playground that's like all fucked up, like destroyed, and because he kidnaps children, And I said I really want to have it really cool, and we'll try and come up with an idea, but we went with Hour Tours instead. But like, there's part of me that kind of regrets it because I think the reason I went with Outlaw Tours, I'm like, surely a whole bunch of people are going to jump on the Slenderman thing. Because that game had just come out, Slenderman, the 8 pages, which I'm a big fan of. And I love the idea. It's fantastic. Great suspense, that game. Fantastic. That guy did an awesome job. Yeah. And that's why I wanted to show. I love the story. Right? And then I'm like, nah, they'll do it. And then they made all these things, and I actually got one the other day. I've got the Blu-ray thing over there. I haven't watched it yet. It was $5. Slenderman movie. I'm like, for $5, I'll roll a dice on it. But I've heard that they're all pretty crap, right? But like, I'll watch them. I'll check them out. I'll see if they're any good, But part of me wishes we'd done it because I know we would have done a really cool job because I understood what it was about. The creepy man comes, he kidnaps the children, they're never seen again. You know what I mean? I was going to do based it on that. I was going to base it on the 8-page game. Have the pages and creepy pages. Has eyes, doesn't see, and all those weird clues. And that would have been something really cool. Because, like I said, Australia, we have so many. Like, you don't even have to go far to find woods. Do you know what I mean? There's actually. I'll tell you this story too. They years ago, back in 2005, when Shaolin Monks was out, actually, we didn't have any of the cool cell phones yet, like with the cool cameras. They still just took really bad photos, right? No flash or anything. They're just shit. I went out to an abandoned, we were calling it an abandoned mental hospital that was literally built in the woods. And it's not even that far from my house. And so we found out about it, and we went out there one night, and we went out there, a lot of us were like, we'd had a few drinks, but we weren't drunk. Obviously the guy driving wasn't drunk. And we went out to this abandoned mental hospital that was literally, you go down a dirt road. I shit you not. Down this dirt road. And it's like literally in the woods. It's like literally all the movies you've ever seen. And these guys had been there before who told me about it, and we went with them. They brought us. And they're like, oh, you got to watch out for the security guard. Because apparently they had some security guard down there. So if you went down there real quietly, you could get in. But if you made a noise, this guy would be like, hey, what are you doing? Sort of thing, chase you away, sort of thing. And we went down there. And it was the creepiest thing I've ever seen. All the cliches, like all the windows were broken, so the wind was doing that. All the cliches were actually happening. So the wind was howling through this building. There were like stuff left behind, like wheelchairs and stretchers in there that were abandoned, and like curtains blowing in the wind, and like just broken glass everywhere. It was really creepy. It's the creepiest thing I've ever seen, and that's sort of what gave me an idea to want to do the Slenderman thing, And when we left, we didn't even stay long. I said, nah, I'm done. Let's go. This is creeping me out, And we start heading back up the dirt path towards where we had the car, and this feral cat comes out of the woods, and it follows us, and it's going meow, meow, and it followed us. I swear to God, all the way to the car, like up to the tire.
Wow.
And it was just really, really creepy. And then I read about this place, And what it was it used to be at a tuberculosis center, like back in whenever. And there's I could show you photos. I can show you photos offline of it. Of that used to use it for that, and then it became an aged care facility. Then it just closed down and just sat there. Anyway, this building got so known about after we visited it. They put a fence around it to try and keep people out, and then people just cut down the fence. They cut the wire, and anyway, they just knocked it down. It's gone now. I'm really sad. I have no photos of it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. At least there's photos online of when it was this tuberculosis center, so there's something left. But like I said, it wasn't like now where we could have taken photos and stuff. I wish I had a photo of when we went, because it was really, really creepy. Yeah. You really get a cool environment. The Aussie bush can be a really, really creepy place. And you'll see kangaroos and everything around there. That's where they live. You don't even have to go that far from where I am right now to get there. You just have to sort of get out of the city, out into the paddocks, and that's where it is. It's near the Melbourne airport.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's not
that far from the Melbourne airport. In the middle of nowhere. Well, it was, and like I said, they knocked it down now, and the gate's still there, but I drive past the gate sometimes, and it's just a gate. It just says no trespassing or something. You know what it's like. You don't tell me what to do, sign. I read all sorts of things about it. I think the reason they had a security guard there was the army was using it for drill exercises.
Oh.
They were using that facility to run around, in a simulation sort of thing. I think they didn't want people going there for that reason, But,
Just walking into it one day and just find a random grenade on the ground. Who owns this?
Well, that's why I got worried when we went there, because there was so much broken glass and shit there, and I didn't want anyone to get hurt.
Yeah.
That's why I said we probably shouldn't stay that long.
Mm-hmm.
Have a look around. I read stories about people, they reckon it's haunted. Some people who work there reckon it's haunted. It was haunted. They reckon that there's a person you'd see on the second floor, and they reckon you'd see the groundskeeper, out in the field. He died. You know what I mean?
Mm.
But I don't know how true that is or not. I just read these stories, but it wouldn't surprise me. Like I said, it was really creepy.
Like looking out the window. Hello.
Well, that's what that person said. They said if you looked back at the place, you'd see him in the end window on the second floor. Something I read from some staff member that used to be a nurse there. And they said they would never, ever go down when it was the aged care facility. They said they had a morgue if someone died. They said they would never go down there at night. No way. Do you know what I mean? They said it was super creepy, super cold out there. It's cold, So, yeah.
Well, you've given me an idea for the next season anyway. We're having Slender Man in it at some stage.
Well, yeah, I would have loved to have done a Slender Man thing, I just think it's gone now. No one talks about it anymore.
Yeah, it's completely gone from the limelight now. It's never really I think they were planning on a TV show or something, but I don't think that's ever. I don't know if that's still being done or not.
Well, I'll grab the Blu-ray. I'll read out what it was.
Yeah.
This one's literally just Slender Man.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah.
At the bargain price of $5. That's $5
Nice.
Australian dollars. I know, it's scary, chilling, and thrilling. In a small town in Massachusetts. Blah, 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 blah. I don't know. I don't expect good things.
And then you watch it and it's like the best you've ever watched.
It's like Bigfoot movies. What's his name? Max Crawford. He does the voice of Shujinko.
Yes.
In Deception.
Hmm.
I was talking to him on Facebook. He loves Bigfoot movies as well.
All right.
And I'm going to recommend me a few Bigfoot movies, because I swear they haven't done the ultimate Bigfoot movie yet, where it's a really cool movie and a good premise. Yeah. There's been a few close ones. He recommended a good one. Exists. That wasn't too bad.
Hmm.
But I feel like there's so much potential to have a cool Bigfoot movie, but they haven't nailed it yet.
Hmm.
Yeah, so
Fingers crossed. You can do it.
fingers crossed.
Anyway, so to go back to MK1 for like a couple more minutes. What do you think of Raiden?
Raiden's Liu Kang now.
He
Liu
really
Kang's
is,
Raiden.
isn't he? Yeah.
I literally swapped him around. I mean, Raiden's the cocky student now, right?
More or less, like, yeah, but like he still has his powers though.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
Hmm.
But honestly, if you think about MK2, he had his powers and he was in Outworld.
Yeah, but he wouldn't have been as powerful though. He'd still have something, wouldn't he? Isn't that what the whole thing was? Oh,
He said, and they did it in the movie, that he loses his power as an Outworld, as a god. Do you know what I mean? Isn't that's in the Mortal Kombat 2? I know they say it in the movies, but that's in the Mortal Kombat 2 story, that he becomes immortal, essentially, in Outworld.
oh, yeah, right.
But he still has his powers a bit,
Yeah.
you know, but I don't think he has his immortality. Doesn't have that power.
Hmm.
You know, that he has to be on Earth for that. So, you know, I think it's the same story, but he's not in Outworld. He's in Earth realm, but he's not immortal, and he doesn't have those godlike powers or immortality. But yeah, I know, man. All the characters, they're all hodgepodge. They're all mixed up, you know.
Yeah. Well, hopefully now when we actually play it and stuff gets explained and stuff like that, maybe we might get on board. I mean, I'm gonna probably take this as a complete another new game from the ground up, really. Do you know what I mean?
I didn't hate it, but yeah, you're probably right. They're probably going for a new story.
Because I still remember Raiden's MK1 ending though, how he was like he invited all these other gods to come in a big war and stuff.
He kills everybody, and then it says, "Have a nice day."
Yeah, have a nice day.
It was funny because they continued that on. I don't think they did it in MK3. It was in MK2 as well, but it was Shang Tsung who killed everybody, and it said, "Have a nice day." And it seemed like that was going to be a running gag, but I don't think they did a "Have a nice day" ending in MK3.
No, but Shang Tsung has it in MK11, doesn't he? After he's there with all his titans and all, and at the end he goes, "Have a nice day."
I didn't even know that. That's great. Maybe it is still going on.
Gotta keep some of it alive somewhere. It's probably like, you never know, but maybe they stopped it in one game in the endings part, but maybe it's somewhere in the background or something like that. Maybe it's just a running gag. Yeah.
Could be. They kept hiding Pac-Mans in the Mortal Kombat backgrounds. John Vogt kept hiding Pac-Mans in MK1 and MK3. I don't know if there's one in MK2. I'd like to know. Because it seems weird that there would be one in MK2, but there's one in MK1 and MK3.
Probably somewhere hidden in the background, I'd say.
I've never seen it.
It'd be hilarious if it was like the MK2 pit in the moon.
If you ever find it, let me know, because I'm looking for it.
Yeah, get all these HD things and zoom in. Fine tooth comb.
Funny, because when we did that Chicago tour, we found parts of the Mortal Kombat 1 backgrounds in Chicago. And then later on, someone messaged me and went, and that building we're at, I was taking all these photos of this building that was across the road because it had all these Asian type roofs on it and designs. But I didn't take a photo of the very corner of it, and there was a tile on there that had like a lion on it, and that was in the background of Mortal Kombat 2. We matched it up.
Oh, nice.
It's part of the Wastelands. Yeah, they just changed it a little bit. There's little statues of like two lions.
Yeah.
So I was there, and I was going through all my photos. I don't have a photo of it, but he sent me the photo. Yeah, I was spewing because I had a feeling. I had that feeling that something else in that area was probably used. I had that feeling, and that's why I was taking photos of everything. But I just didn't get that one part of that building, that corner part. I got the other wall, that it's not on.
It's always the way, isn't it? You'll always miss something or other, and then you're like,
Yeah,
God damn it.
Monday.
Oh yeah, hopefully getting over there at some stage too. I want to try and get over there for Combat Con and meet everybody.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to do it at con.
Well, they still do like the small meetups in the Ghost Arcade. The lads always seem to go there every year and stuff like that and meet up with the fans and all. So even something like that, a Combat Con thing, I think was just a small thing.
It's a shame. I wish they'd do it again.
Maybe if there's a big enough interest, maybe if we get a load of like MK content creators together, even veterans and all, and then just have a big thing.
I think it's a money thing. You know, I think a lot of the actors want money from it. You know,
right?
You know,
yeah.
As far as I know, I don't know for sure. Nothing's been said to me directly, but that's what I'm seeing.
That's why I was very hyped when Kari Tagawa. I don't know. Did I tell you this? Kari Tagawa said he'd lend me his voice for Shang Tsung in my animation for the Conquest animation.
I did see that. That was awesome. I was a little jealous, actually.
Yeah.
Because I was the first MK fan to follow him on Twitter.
Nice.
You can go. I'm not kidding. You can go back through his whole list, and I checked it too because I didn't want to say that if it wasn't true. But I remember I looked him up one day and he was there and I followed him. And then every other MK fan followed him because I followed him, right?
Yeah.
I went back and looked through the list and there was like, it might have only just joined Twitter. I was the first fan that had followed him, you know? And we were sending quotes to each other, Mortal Kombat quotes, flawless victory, your soul is mine, you know? Because I'm a big fan. Like, not just Mortal Kombat, Showdown in Little Tokyo as well. He's popped up in so many little films, Memoir of a Geisha. You know, he's done so many films that he's been in. You know, he's very notable actor. Yeah. You know, and it was so cool. I was interacting with him. You know, and I was just really awesome. You know, and then he followed me. That was awesome, man.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, you got the voice. That was cool. I did ask ages ago. I asked Steve Ritchie in the original Our World tours to voice Shao Kahn. But he didn't want to do it, so.
Shame.
Yeah. That's spewing.
Yeah.
I would have loved that.
Oh, no, it's just a shame as well, like how, I asked, like, Daniel Pesina said he definitely lent his voice for Johnny Cage, and then Victoria, a friend of mine, she's done Katana in a fan-made Mortal Kombat movie, so she said she'd lend me her voice for Katana and stuff, but then when they actually came to, getting the voices recorded and stuff like that, like no one really had the time at the time. I think Kari Tagawa couldn't do it because they brought him back for MK11, and I guarantee he was under contract that he wasn't able to do any other like projects and stuff like that.
So you got him to do it once?
No, like he said he would. Like I said to him, I was like, "Would you?" He was like, "How about lending your voice to Shang Tsung?" And then originally he said, "Let me see what kind of a pull you get for this animation." And then everyone, obviously, like he's got a lot of following, so everyone was commenting under saying, "Oh yeah, definitely do it. I can't wait to see this and stuff like that." And then I heard nothing back and then like it was a week after that, I was like, all right, scripts and all done and stuff like that. And just for the laugh, I tagged him saying, "Are you ready?" And he messaged me back saying, "Yes, let's do it." I think I still have the picture actually on my phone because I remember I screenshotted it and it's like a memorabilia now in the thing.
It's exciting, isn't it? I've screenshotted a few things like that.
Let's see if I can see it here. If I have it. Screenshots. Oh yeah, John Cena apparently followed me on Twitter, but I think he's following like everyone. He seems to be following a lot of people.
Peacemaker was awesome. I'm not even a John Cena fan, but I loved what they did with the Peacemaker. I don't know anything about that character, but I love that show.
Yeah, so like I says, I wonder if the man himself, CHT official, mind sharing his voice for Shang Tsung in my upcoming Mortal Kombat animation that is involving quite a few big names, because at the moment, like, Daniel Pesina said he would, and Victoria said she would, and stuff like that. And then he writes back saying, "Keep me updated, show me how much fan support you are getting." And then I said to him, like, "Your move, Carrie," he goes, "My move, slightly cheesy." And then I think what was it? I bit on it after that. I said scene 3 script done for the conquest animation. I can't wait for it to be done and get to work. Hopefully it's going to be so big, and hopefully we get some guest voices. And I think I tagged him then after that with a dancing scorpion emoji, and he basically just says like I'm in. I don't know if you can probably see that. That's actually flipped up the other way. It's like I'm in, and I was like,
yeah.
yeah.
And then he couldn't do it.
Well, actually, this kind of could have been a little thing. Actually, it says I'm in, and then an exclamation mark, and then 2 1s after it.
Oh.
So maybe I actually didn't. Maybe this is my fault. Maybe I didn't copy. Says this is him saying I'm in 11. Maybe I didn't copy it at the time. I just seen him say I'm in, and I was freaking out about it and stuff. But the fact of the matter is, after the exclamation mark, it says 2 1s, and I'm pretty sure he's probably saying I'm in 11. I can't do it. Well,
maybe. Maybe you might be reading into that a bit much.
Maybe.
People,
who knows?
People just spam the ones after explanation points.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna keep it in my screenshots forever. Hopefully.
Oh, that's sad, man. Yeah, it probably got scooped up to do the voice, and then that's it.
Yeah, because I know when you're in contract,
it's upsetting because there was a show on YouTube called Adult Wednesday Addams, right? And this fan of the Addams family, she made a show where she's grown up Wednesday Addam, and she deals with a whatever situation, like guys catcalling her, and then she gets revenge on them. Look it up on YouTube; it's really clever.
I think I've seen it. Yeah, I think I remember.
Yeah.
That.
She did the show, it became huge. She was making all this money, and then they came down and said cease and desist and stopped her. Do you know what I mean? You know why they did it? Because they saw value in the character. It wasn't because they had something brewing. They then went and made that show. Do you know what I mean? They went and made that new Wednesday show.
Oh, they
copied that from her, from YouTube.
But isn't it like it's still fine for it to do under the Parody Act? No? You're kidding me, really?
Oh yeah, they shut it down, bro. Fully shut it down.
That's ridiculous.
And the people who owned the Wednesday, the people who owned the Addams family said, we're real sorry, but like MGM owns the rights. At first they said that because there was a Addams Family animated cartoon thing came out, an animated thing.
Right.
Which makes sense.
Mm.
But honestly, her thing wasn't impinging on that at all. And if you think about it, it was because they planned to make this show.
Yeah.
Which came out straight after it, right? And they honestly saw there's value in the character. We can take that back and just do our thing and sell it. And that's why I got really annoyed when everyone was talking about that show on Netflix. Might be a great show and everything. But I'm like, man, they stole that from that YouTuber.
Mm.
She's the one who brought that back to life and made it famous. That whole idea.
Yeah.
But, you can't fight corporations. They'll just bury you with lawyers.
That's ridiculous. Like, absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, it upsets me. Because they could have worked with her.
Yeah, they could have.
They just want to shut people down and cut them out of the picture. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
They don't have to do it that way. You get more support if you work with someone than against them.
Mm.
With a super fan.
But even be like even bigger than what it was if they work with the person doing this.
They could have just said to it, you can keep doing your thing.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, you can keep doing your thing, but we want you to advertise the show as well.
Something like that, exactly.
Yeah, and that would have been free publicity because, as you said, she probably was so big, everyone was watching her. But then when
she was getting huge views.
Yeah,
huge.
Like no one looks at these things anymore. No one takes these type of chances anymore. They just shut them down straight away. Do you know I watched that movie? The Nike movie.
The which one? Sorry.
The Nike movie, the shoe or the runners.
Oh, I wanted to watch that. Air.
Yeah, Air. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I wanted to watch that.
I learned a few things in that. Like, I can't believe they used to actually like fine basketball players for wearing anything other than white back in the day. Like $5,000 if you showed up to anything like a game wearing anything other than white runners. Do you know what I mean? And then like the whole thing of them taking a chance, saying like, oh, Michael says he never wants to work with us and stuff like that. He wants to go with like Adidas or the other place and stuff. And they're like, oh, just screw it. Just like tell him we'll pay all his fines. Tell him we'll endorse the shoe. Tell him you'll get a cut of the profits and all this sort of stuff. And it's so big now. They make billions off it a year and stuff. But you don't see people making that any chance anymore because they're like, oh no, that's all money, you know?
Well, black and red looks so fantastic too. Do you know what I mean? Really stands out. You know, I remember when all Air Jordans came out, being in school. You know, God, all the basketball people. I wasn't one of them. I was a nerd, but I'd see them all wearing the Air Jordans and that. You know, all the Reebok pumps. Yeah, you know.
But anyway, going back to Mortal Kombat now. Okay, so I kind of want to talk about maybe your history with the game. That's probably a good thing to do. Going to start off with.
Sure.
So like, let's go all the way back to the very beginning. So, when and where would your like entry to the Mortal Kombat universe begin? Where did you originally see it for the first time, and what was your reaction?
Yeah, I said this in the Chicago tour. It was a place called well, it was actually near where they're making the Mortal Kombat movie now, not too that far away from it, which is funny. So they're making the Mortal Kombat movie in Coolangatta, and about an hour drive from that to another part of the Gold Coast. It's called Coolangatta. That's where the airport is that takes you basically to anywhere in that area. And in Coolangatta, there was a shopping centre called Showcase on the Beach. And up the top floor, they had a small cinema and an arcade, you know. And my cousin was the one who told me about Mortal Kombat. He was the one who said, I'm going to show you this game and you can kill people in it. And I was like, oh. Like that, I remember being like a bit shocked, you know what I mean? That you could murder someone in a game, you know? So I went to the arcade and he wanted to show me Sub-Zero Spine Rip. That's the one he knew, right? And I remember he tried to do it on the first guy. He didn't get the fatality out on the first guy, but he did on the second guy. I saw it and I was shocked. And I remember thinking they should ban it. I said that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then after that, I never played it. I didn't even play it. I just watched, right? Then Mortal Kombat became massive. I started seeing it everywhere. In every arcade I went into, Mortal Kombat. And there's like, you know, older teenagers huddled around it, you know, playing it. I remember a story actually once. My local arcade I went into. And it was before they banned blood in the game. Because they ended up in Queensland, Australia. There was a blood ban placed on Mortal Kombat 1 and 2. Because some granny complained about the violence or something. I think she complained at the arcade that I used to go to. So that was I used to live in a suburb called Indooroopilly. I know, big long word, right? And they had a playtime arcade. And that's where I'd play. That was my local closest arcade. And so I went in there one day and there were all these big kids playing it. And they'd done something to the game to get like 30, they had 30 credits racked up on it. Do you know what I mean? They didn't put the money in. They'd zapped it with a lighter or something. I don't know. They'd done something to it, you know. And they were playing it. I couldn't get on the game. I wanted to play it, you know. And I asked them for a credit, and they were trying to tell me to go away and bug off. And I'm like, if you don't give me any credits, I'm gonna go tell that lady what you did. So they left me with like 2 credits or something, you know. And so I got to play it. And like I said, back then it had the violence. I remember them doing Scorpion's Fatality. I distinctly remember seeing that on that game. And then this complaint came out from someone. And Indooroopilly was a pretty nice area, right? It wasn't like, you know, high crime or anything. It was a nice shopping centre. And I think some parent or nana saw their grandchildren do this fatality and got really upset by it and complained to the Prime Minister of Queensland. I think it was Wayne Goss at the time. And then they put this ban on. And so all the main arcades, all the biggest arcades in Queensland, all the blood and fatalities were turned off on Mortal Kombat 1 and 2. So it's like, finish him and you can't do anything. You can't hit him down the pit. You just uppercut him. It's like Scorpion wins. That was it. And the fine was, I think, 10 grand. If you 10 or $50,000. I can't remember which one.
Jesus.
If you were caught with the fatalities or blood enable, and I tried it on. I asked, can you turn it on just for an hour? You know, that would budge. I wouldn't do it. You know. So then I found a place that had Mortal Kombat with the blood on, and it was that fish and chip shop that I talked about in my hotspots video. It was a high crime area. Do you know what I mean? And he had this multi-select thing. I think the board might have even been a knockoff Mortal Kombat, because it had like Street Fighter. I had Mortal Kombat. You push the game select button. It had like 4 games on there, you know. And I was always fighting with the Street Fighter people. I'd get there and they'd fucking on Street Fighter. Hadouken. It's one of the reasons I hate Street Fighter. Because I'd watch them play and that's all they'd fucking do. Hadoukens. And they'd beat the game. And they'd just stand there. Hadouken. I watched them do it because I wanted to play MK. And they beat the game doing that crap. And it was one of the reasons that like really upset me. Like, that's not a good game. Like, you know, I've relaxed that opinion a little bit now. You know, that's just how they beat the AI. And Street Fighter's a great game, and we wouldn't have Mortal Kombat if it wasn't for Street Fighter. But I still think the AI isn't great in Street Fighter. You can spam and win if you're fast enough, quick enough, you know. But they had the Mortal Kombat with the blood on, and so I'd play it. I was doing a schooling course there. I'd get there early every day and play the arcade. So at this stage, it had already come out on the home systems, and I was already good at the home system one. So I didn't play the arcade originally. Then I started to play it, got my ass kicked, didn't play it much. Then the blood was banned, sort of thing. But then it was on the home systems with the blood anyway, with the blood code, Mega Drive. And I got really good at the home one. And then I went back to the arcades. And I kept getting my ass kicked in this fish and chip shop, you know. I remember I won my first match on the arcade by using Johnny Cage and just pressing down and low kick on the first guy. And I won the whole match. Was able to do the fatality, you know. Uppercut the head off, you know. And then I went from there and I learned all my strategy there. I played it every day. Got really good at the game, you know. And that's basically where it started, you know. But the first place I saw it was Coolangatta. But I mostly played it in Brisbane at those 2 places. I even still played it at the place without the blood because it was convenient, closer to me. But if I was doing the schooling thing, I'd then play that one. That one had the blood, so I'd play both, you know. And it was funny because, like I said, they had that Mortal Kombat 2 blood ban. I found out that infinite babality glitch because of it. No one knew that until I did it. Showed it on YouTube. Do you know what I mean? I wondering how the blood has to be off to do that glitch. That's how I found it, because there was a blood ban in Queensland. And it's funny because I want to do a YouTube video about this blood ban, right? Because you can't find a thing about this online. It's like it never happened, right? But I know it did because I lived it, right? And I rang up council people like, look, I want to do this video about this. Is there any press releases? Is there any information about this blood ban? You know what I mean? And it's all like, you'd have to sort of dig it up, sort of thing. Like, and some of the records might be sealed, and they're sealed for another 10 years. Do you know what I mean?
10 years.
They might be able to be unsealed for like research purposes. If you know, and I was making all these inquiries around the time of COVID, you know, and not really getting far. But there must be some official document somewhere about it, because this was like a law that was put into place, you know. And I think no one can tell this story because nobody's done it. Do you know what I mean? Didn't happen in America or anything, you know. And Queensland had this reputation in the 90s for notoriously banning shit. I don't know why, but a lot of videos you'd see they would proudly have this sticker on them, banned in Queensland. So I was like, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, banned in Queensland. So everyone would hire it. Oh, fucking banned in Queensland. You know what I mean? Like, they would use that as a marketing tool. If it was banned in Queensland, it might be awesome. Do you know what I mean? So I think I still want to do this video, but you know, but I'm not the best at logistically digging this stuff up. But it's something that's I have this slate of video ideas that I really want to do. Do you know what I mean? That I've never done. That are very unique. You know, that no one else has done on YouTube. You know, I want to talk about the Mortal Kombat blood ban that was in Australia. I don't reckon they even heard about it in Midway. Maybe.
Here we go. Why not? Like, do you remember the blood code?
ABAC ABB.
Yeah, it's like etched in here, isn't it?
Mortal Kombat 2 PC AICULEDSSUL. Select AB right left down down up up. AYBX.
You remember the MK3 ones?
Sorry?
You remember the MK3 ones?
I just said two of them.
Oh, really? Sorry.
AYBX was sound test.
Mm.
Select AB right left down down up up was, I think, Scott stuff. There was cool codes, cooler codes, and Scott stuff on SNES.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think on Mega Drive it was just Cool Codes 1 and Cool Codes 2. I think that was it. I don't think there was a test. Not that I've seen anyway.
Left, down, right, left, right was the code on for soak test on MK2. Genesis. And then there was AICULEDSSUL was the PC cheat for Mortal Kombat 2. And I got blown away recently. Someone told me why it was that. I always thought it was such a weird group of characters. It's actually their names, the two programmers on the PC version.
Oh. So it's not just a random thing. Okay.
Non-Mortal Kombat fan said it. I'm like, how the fuck do you know that? Yeah. It's funny. I remember all those codes. I can remember all the Doom codes. You know, IDDQD, IDKFA.
Yeah.
You know, because
IDDQD.
Yeah, IDSP, ISP, OPD.
Oh God, what's that one?
No clip on Doom 1.
No clip, really? Oh wow.
It was changed to ID clip in Doom 2.
Ah, okay. ID clip.
But in Doom 1, it was IDSP, ISP, OPD.
Jesus.
You know how I memorized that? Because I was making Doom levels. And I'd no clip all the time. To check my level. You know? So I was just typing it constantly. So I just memorized it, you know?
Just to run around. Nice.
I remember I watched a video about John Romero talking about those cheats. Because IDDQD, I always wondered what it meant, you know? And he answered it in one of his videos. So obviously every cheat started with ID because it was ID software, right? KFA was keys and fucking ammo, you know? DQD stood for Delta Quit Delta. So he had this saying in college when he didn't want to do anything anymore. He goes, I'm going to Delta Quit Delta that. That's what he used to say.
Right.
So that was his saying, and then so it became a Doom cheat. That's why Delta Quit Delta means I'm going to quit playing normally. I'm going to cheat. You know.
I'm gonna quit playing. Oh wow. Yeah. No. You know, actually, John lives over here now. He lives down in Galway. I've met him like a lot of times.
I love to meet him.
Yeah.
Such a cool dude.
I'll get you a video next time I meet him.
Yeah, do it, man.
Because I got a video for my friend Kuroki because she loves Doom Guy, and I asked him, can she marry him and all that sort of stuff. It's like, can I get the father's permission? And he gave him the permission, and that was so funny.
Oh, that's awesome. So Tim Whitless, I think it's Whitless. No, was it Willis? Whitless or Willis came to Australia. He did all the levels in the Ultimate Doom, that new chapter that was consumed. He did all those levels, right? He came here for one of the PAXs, and I had my ID anthology to be signed by him. ID anthology, by the way, super rare. It's a box on PC, has all the Commander Keens, all the Dooms, Quake on Mac. It has it's like the ultimate thing. You get a T-shirt, it's a comic book. There's like a little pewter cyber demon, dog tags. This is the ultimate collection. This thing's rare as hell now. I wanted to get it signed so bad, and I kept trying to find the guy. I couldn't find him. Spew it. I asked him a question at the panel, and I used to make, like I said, I used to make Doom levels, and I asked him if they looked at the unofficial level making tools, right? And he said, "I've never answered this before." I go, "I've never ever said this before." He goes, "I used to make all the levels in DU, which is the unofficial, export, and then load them up with the official tool and put them in the game."
Oh, wow.
I've got that on video. I videoed that with my phone. I've got him saying that. I'm like, that's awesome. So the official guy used the unofficial tools.
Oh my god. That's brilliant, though.
That's great.
I got him to sign a few things to send over actually to my friend, but she lived in Colombia, so and unfortunately when I sent it over, never made it there. Like, do you know what I mean? Never made it to her. Yeah.
Sad.
Got her like some t-shirts, a book, which I got him to sign, and all, a few stickers and stuff. I think I still have a picture of it somewhere, but I sent it over though.
How'd you meet him?
He was at the conferences. I keep getting invited to the conferences now because I'm doing the whole and
Conference.
yeah, and like we were there and or sorry, I should say conventions, not conferences, conventions.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was just sitting there, and I went over and I shook his hand, and I was like, "You're a big part of my childhood. Thank you so much." And I was like, "I'll tell you how I first came to see Doom at all. I was actually in my aunt and uncle's house down in Cork, and I remember hearing some really cool stuff happening down in the living room, and I was in bed, and I woke up and I just made the whole excuse. I went down saying, I can't sleep, and they're all there gathered around the computer, and all I saw was like this cool looking minigun on the screen. I'm like, what's that? And I'm like, go to bed. I was like, okay. I think I wasn't able to play. I think I played Doom like the next year, because when we went back, I was like, remember that game you used for playing? And I was like, what was it? And he loaded it up and showed it to me. So it's the first time I've ever played Doom anyway. He's a sound guy, though. He's a really cool guy. Like, and I remember actually going over to him. I seen him. I think this was the third convention. His kids are hilarious because I went over to chat to him. I was like, "Hey, John, how's it going?" And straight away they're like, and I'm like, "What?" And I was like, "Oh, you're buying something?" I was like, "No." "Oh, okay." And I was like, "All right." I was like, "You got them trained well, John. You got them trained well."
His head.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah, it's in the icon of sin. Brilliant.
Yeah.
And, oh really?
Yeah. That, like you were saying, the icon of sin. His head's behind it. Yeah, the last level, Doom 2.
Yeah, you can only really get it if you clipped up to it. I remember I never was able to defeat that level, and then I found the no clip thing, and when I went up to it, I was like, what the hell is... I didn't even know whose head that was or something. I just thought there was a demon head, and that's why you had to go up on that little thing going up to shoot into it. Like,
the way to beat it, you have to bolt to it, because I tried it too. I don't know how you did it without cheating. Basically, you have to bolt to the switch, hit switch, bolt to the lift goes up, and then you shoot it, and then that's it. If the enemies have already started to spawn, you got no hope.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
because I made a custom level myself, and I put that in it. I put the head in it, and I put the spawning thing, the spawn cube, and the whole room fills up with people. And like, I've got cheats on, because there's like no way in hell I'd be able to.
Hmm.
I'd just arch files, you know, like there's no way you could do it. You know what I mean? Once it starts, I put two spawn cube things in one room. So they're both spawning, and the room just fills up, and you got no chance, you know?
There's too many. What the hell?
It's one of those dumb things, one of those dumb levels I made. Like, this will be cool. No.
And yeah, it looks like the most downloaded ever. Everybody loves a challenge.
Everybody loves to cheat.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Okay, so I go on to the next question. So out of all what you've played Mortal Kombat and seen in Mortal Kombat so far, what do you feel would be like your most favorite moment that's happened? Or the favorite moment in the game, or like even to what's happened to you in real life while playing the game or something like that. Just your favorite moment in general.
I mean, there's been a few. There is one time, I don't know why this moment resonates with me, but MK3 was out, right? And I was working in the arcade, my local arcade. I just started working there. And we were allowed to play the games if there were no customers around.
Yeah.
If a customer comes, you got to drop the game. That's it, right? That was the rule, right? So I'm in there, and I started playing Mortal Kombat 3, and it was fairly new. I was starting to get good at the game, and we had it on a big screen with the control panel here. It wasn't like the dedicated one with Sindel on the side, it was a different one. And I just remember being there, and I was at the top of my game with Mortal Kombat 3. I was using Cabal. And this couple came in, and they started watching me play. I said, "Oh, do you need help?" And they're like, "No, we're just watching." I go, oh, "Okay." So I just kept playing. And I did like the first fatality, then I did fatality 2, then I did animality, then I did friendship, then I did babality, and then I just beat the game, like whole thing. I just remember feeling super relaxed with the game. The air conditioner was blowing on me. I was super relaxed. I've got 2 people watching me, and I'm having the best game ever. Like, I wasn't playing like shit. I was like dominating the game. You know what I mean? And then I beat it, and these 2 people said, "You played so well." They said it to me. They go, "You played that game so well," and I'm like, "Thank you." I know that's always just stuck out to me. I don't know. I was just so relaxed at that moment. That one moment, I've never felt so relaxed in all my life. It's sort of weird. I was just so comfortable with the game, and
That's handy. Like, it's very good.
Yeah. And the other ones are like meeting Ed Boon and stuff was really special. And going to America and seeing it. I should send you the photo. I was recently going through photos. I found the very first photo I took of the Midway booth the day before it was open. I went to the convention center the day before E3. We got my pass. And then I saw the big Midway banner. They had this big Midway banner with an arrow. And I go, what the fuck? And I walked down there, and basically the whole room was there with all the whole row of Mortal Kombat Armageddons that weren't switched on. And they had plastic still on the carpet, while I was setting things. I guess they didn't then just rip the plastic away. They had all these Mortal Kombat Armageddons in a line. And I was like, the day before, like I just wanted to, there was no one around. I wanted to go in there and just like flick on the game and start playing it, you know what I mean? But I remember just standing there at the door like the day before, like I was so excited.
You find like a crew top. Oh, I gotta take this one. I gotta do repairs on it.
They sent me. I gotta check that the game works. They come down.
News from the higher ups. I gotta make sure these games work. I'll take this one over here.
Pretty sure I've got a photo of when they turned off the game too. When the final time, because we were playing Mortal Kombat Armageddon right up until the end. Me and the MK Online and Dave's MK guys. Tab Mock and that. And then like, oh, we got to close up. You know, they switched it off, and I took a photo of the Xbox console. It said development build or whatever on it. I'm pretty sure I've got that. You know, shot there now. Hang on. Let's see if I quickly just check my files. Pretty sure I got a photo of it. E3 2006. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, there it is. Oh, it's blurry. I have it, but it's blurry, unfortunately.
Oh well.
Oh wait, no, there it is. I got it. So it says XDK launcher.
SDK
So they
launcher.
quit out of the game and it went back to the XDK launcher.
Hmm.
That's all it says. Audio console app, Xbox dashboard. But I've got a photo of it with all the Mortal Kombat stuff around it, you know.
Nice.
Actually, there's another photo of it in the background. Oh, that girl. Yeah, I've got photos of all the staff like turning it off. John Padalasek, he used to be PR, shutting down the consoles, and yeah, that was really special, man. You know, I never thought I'd get to E3. Do you know what I mean? Felt like it wasn't possible. I would see all these photos, MK Online going there, and TRMK, and see photos of E3, and I thought, man, I want to do that, you know.
Hmm.
But I thought I'd never get overseas. It was like a big thing for me. Hear about it, you know, it cost a lot of money and that. And then the fates, you know, the fate just came my way.
It's very surreal, isn't it? I remember asking to go over to report on the Call of Duty, is it Infinite Warfare back in the time? I got flown over to LA.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was put up in a hotel. But what was funny is they put us up in the wrong hotel. There was the hotel for all the media, and then there was the hotel. Then there was the hotel for all the esports lads and all.
All right.
And they put us up in the hotel with all the esports like crews. So we got to have the chats and all with the esports lads, which was very funny. And the first day we went there was no one there. It was just us. So we got all the interviews done and stuff like that. I met Michelle Rodriguez. I met Snoop Dogg, Wiz Khalifa. Jeff Keighley was there, but I only seen him for a second. I didn't actually get to say hi or anything. Who else was there? Michael Phillips was there, the swimmer lad. Yeah, they're all gamers, like, which was very, and what was very funny is it was weird the way I got talking to Michelle Rodriguez because I was standing in her picture zone. I didn't even realize it. Like, I was just chatting to everyone, like, you know, I was just sitting there with my arms folded, and I get tapped on the shoulder, and it's her. And she says, "Do you mind? You're just kind of in my picture." I was like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't mean." So I stepped back, and she got her pictures taken. She came over, and then she was like, "Sorry about that." And I just didn't want you. And I was like, "Oh, it's no problem at all, no problem." So how are you? And then I just got talking for a little bit, just about the game and already.
Oh, that's really awesome.
No,
I never got flown anywhere, man. I had to pay for everything.
Well, no, I went over as part of my job because, like, they had asked our job to send over 2 people to report on the game. So I got to go, and then one guy from the UK got to go, which is very interesting because we tried to talk to one of the esports teams. I'm not going to say who, but they said, "Oh, we don't want to talk to you," and they pointed at the guy from the UK, and I was like, "How come?" And I was like, "Because apparently the British media slandered the group at one stage." And now they'd never want to talk to the British media again. I was like, "Oh, no, we're not here. We're not here as part of any press or anything. We work for this company, and we're just here to report on the game and all. We're not going to be doing any sort of that type of interviews." And they're like, "Oh, okay, come on in." So, and then you know, so it was all good. Like,
oh, that's cool. I guess technically, I would say in 2006 I was flown out by the place I was working for. I guess,
yeah,
we were a small independent store, so I was flown out, but I got the Midway guest of Midway Games pass myself.
nice.
I've still got that over there. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I think I seen it on one of your photos. All right, or
Yeah.
These ones.
2006, yeah, that was amazing getting that. I came and picked up the envelope. I've still got the envelope. It says Midway Games on it, but I've torn it open, you know, and that was inside at my pass. Guest of Midway Games. So, you know, I was a guest of Midway, man, for E3 in 2006. I didn't pay to go to E3. I was a guest, you know. And then I remember getting accepted to go in 2008 to E3.
Mm.
And I thought it was really strange because I don't know if you remember this, but E3 in 2008 was they downsized it. And they're like, we're not going to have this and that. We're not going to have, booth babes or something. I don't know. It was strange. They made it all small and anyway, I thought I wouldn't be able to get to go. Like Nintendo Australia didn't go. Do you know what I mean? Like I'd been in 2006. We went. The company I was working for, we went because we were big with Nintendo in Australia. Because everyone was all behind the Xbox and PlayStation, and we loved the GameCube. We're old school gamers. So Nintendo loved us because we were doing all this promo, and we got to go to E3. We got to go to the after parties and everything, and they made us sit the line in front of all the Americans. They lost their shit. Because the Wii got announced, right? It was a 3-hour wait to get into the Nintendo booth, and then it was a 20 to half hour wait per game. And we got in line, and then the guy from Australia saw us in line and went, pulled us out of the line and went, no, let's bring him in. And we just skipped the line, and these Americans, they lost their shit. How come they get to skip the line? It was so awesome. And I said to my boss at the time, I said, do you mind if I hang out and do the Mortal Kombat thing? Like, because I know you fly me over for Nintendo. He goes, no. So it's all good. And just did both. And I spent heaps of time in the Midway booth, so much so that I was able to do that massive giveaway.
Mm.
I guess, you know what? Going back to your question, what's one of the best things that's ever happened? That giveaway.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a true thank you from the company. You know what I mean? That was the real deal, man. Like, generally, when Midway did giveaways with people, they gave people 4 copies of the game to give away. I think MK Online got 4 or 5 copies to give away, and even IGN, 4 or 5 copies, and GameSpot, 4 or 5 copies to give away. I got given a box of 50 games. And I was given the collector's covers, man. So they had there was a GameStop cover that was the only one I didn't get because they buy all the stock. So they said we literally couldn't give you this cover because we don't have any because they bought it all. That was the Johnny Cage and Goro one. Funny because I had that on order. So it didn't matter for me.
Yeah.
But then there was the other 3 covers, the Kano and Sonya one, the Sindel and Khan one, and the Dragon logo one from 3 other stores. And they were able to get me copies of them. And I got about 10 of each, And then I got all normal copies of the game, Xbox and PlayStation. Just doing that giveaway was so awesome. I paid all the shipping and paid to ship it to everyone. So it did cost me something. But it was a mad competition. Do you know what I mean? I'm just a nobody, and I did what I think is one of the world's biggest Mortal Kombat competitions ever.
Wow.
For giving away games, let's say that, because I've arcade machines given away and stuff. That stuff's huge, but that was cool to me. I felt really good giving something back to the community, giving the games back to the community. Do you know what I mean? A lot of people fakely entered too, and they wouldn't give me their addresses. Not a lot, but I don't know. I reckon there was about 5 or 6 people, maybe.
Yeah.
That didn't give me a real address or wouldn't reply to my email and give me their address so I could send them the game. So I ended up just keeping them. I checked all this with Midway, by the way. I said the only condition I had was I never sell the games, and I never did. I've never sold one of those games. Never. Yeah, they said you can keep like half of them if you want, But no, I gave them all away. But then when the certain addresses were wrong, I just kept them and archived them. I still have some copies here in my boxes here.
Never
Still
to be
sealed.
touched.
That was big for me, man. Because I remember I was in the Midway booth, and a gentleman comes out, and I didn't really know him, He wasn't on the Mortal Kombat team. I think he was a midway guy. You know what I mean? Like a corporate guy. And it wasn't PR. He wasn't a PR guy. I think he was like up the top. You know what I mean? And he comes out and he goes, "Oh, where are you from?" And this goes back to talking about going to the E3. I spent so much time in the Mortal Kombat booth that this person recognized it. You know what I mean? And back then, you could film the screen. You'd have your camera right here. I was filming everything, man. I was filming the whole screen. You could do whatever you wanted. Then they banned all that. You can't do that anymore. But he came out and he's like, "Well, where are you from?" And I'm like, "I'm from Australia and I love MK and that." He goes, "Yeah, I've seen you. I've seen you here for almost the whole day." Yeah. I'm like, "Well, yeah, it's my thing. And he goes, "I'm going to make sure you get something really good. I really appreciate your coverage." I said, "Oh, thanks." I thought he was just going to send me the game. He did, but he sent me 50 copies of the game. I've still got the box. It's right here. Looking at it.
Wow.
That was a big deal, man. That was. I would say, you know what? I'm going to say that was it to me.
Fair.
Getting thanked like that by the company. That was awesome.
Never see that any more anyway?
No.
No.
Never happened again. I don't like to bring up the past with Warner Brothers, but that didn't go very well.
Yeah, let's not go there. I remember your video and all on it like that. I thought that was absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, I suppose to head on to the next question. So like that's your best moment. That's amazing. That is such a special moment, right? I mean, getting that entire thing from a company not like that, like you never see that anymore. It's absolutely amazing. Any funny or shocking moments that you can think of from the game itself, like either being in a convention or watching the game or something like that? Would you say probably maybe your very first introduction to the spine rip, the way you were shocked then?
When you say funny or what moment? Sorry,
or shocking
funny
moments, like
the first time seeing the spine rip was shocking.
Yeah,
for sure. I remember the first time I saw MK3 fatality was Sector's Compactor. Because in the first version of MK3, all the fatalities were back, high kick for some reason. I don't know if you know that. Like the original, I guess it's version 1 or something. Like they had that.
back high kick.
Yeah, Sector's Compactor fatality was just back, high kick.
Oh,
so it was really easy. And yeah, I remember that was like really cool seeing that. MK2, obviously Kintaro and Shah Khan were definitely, I wouldn't say shocks, but I feel like they raised the stakes. I've always liked Kintaro more than Goro. Always. I mean, you can't have Kintaro without Goro, though. Do you know what I mean? But Kintaro looks scarier. He's faster. He's more aggressive. Got those tiger stripes, man. Those teeth. I know something about him looks, those big spikes that he wears. Do you know what I mean? He just looks so much fucking meaner than Goro. Goro still looks intimidating, obviously, 4 arms. But he's like Goro on steroids. And then you get to the top guy. And I don't think, and I remember watching a video about this recently. A guy on YouTube talking about it. He can't ever recall a game that insults you. You know what I mean? When you get to the you get to the final guy. You will die, mortal, Feel the wrath of Shao Kahn,
You
like
suck.
Yeah, you suck, and all too easy Star Wars quote. You weak, pathetic fool. That's my favorite. Even my mum knows that quote. She would be, when I lived in Queensland, I'd be playing the Super Nintendo all the time. And she'd hear it had all the speech, the Super Nintendo version on MK2. And I'd lose all the time to Shao Kahn. And she'd always hear, "You weak, pathetic fool." She'd be doing the laundry, like across from where I'd play my games, so she'd hear it. So she'd sometimes say it. Yeah, hypothetical, you know. But yeah, like that was an amazing moment in the arcade. Like beating MK2 for the first time. That very hard. It was very hard to beat Mortal Kombat 2. Very hard game. It's very cheap.
Mm.
You know, it still surprises me today. You know how cheap Mortal Kombat 2 is. You know, when you're playing against it. And I own the arcade. Like it's really cheap. Like, and
Yeah, I didn't defeat it for years. I think I used the katana combo where you like use the fan to bring them up, and then you
it's
jump, kick, and then use the
yeah,
fan.
and then fans for it. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I noticed you got the arcade one up there.
yeah,
Yeah. I've got a question for your arcade one up actually.
yeah.
Does your sign light up? Your
The sign,
marquee?
it does. Yeah,
It does.
yeah.
I went through a whole thing. See, the distributor of those is in Australia. It's
Right.
not far from me.
Hmm.
And I went there the other day because I bought a legacy version in Australia.
The MK1.
It does of that one, same one you got,
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah.
but there's no light up sign,
Oh,
and it's always bugged me.